There's a war going on, the books can't escape from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
Final.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam show for Sunday, January 5th, the final day of the NFL season, or was last week the final day of the NFL season. We'll see what we can do with today's card. We've got some big games certainly today in the NFL, and more not so big ones, but it's NFL. We'll take it whenever we can get it, kind of like my social life. And of course, we saw two games yesterday, and hopefully you joined the guys and me for some of the action yesterday with the two games from the AFC North. We saw, okay games, I thought, there last night with the Browns and the Ravens. I can't find a winner in football. Good thing I've got these other sports to zero in on, but we did see last night, of course, the Ravens, what can you say? They did get it done in the end with Derrick Henry and crew getting the money last night. Team consensus. We had the under there in that one, and it did go over there in the end, but did see the Ravens defeat the Browns in the early game, and then the late game with the Steelers and the Bengals, and the Steelers get the money despite the Bengals victory there. So, I hope I like this card a lot better today in the NFL. I couldn't find the winners yesterday with the two games, but I did have the winner in the Bahamas Bowl with Buffalo. That was a lot easier. We had the winner here on the show with the under as well. So more bowl games, but that's it for the bowl games, other than our big college football games this week. So thanks for joining me here, everybody. We should have a fun show. A lot of football to cover today. Big NFL card really for Sunday, but we also have NBA, NHL, and some college basketball to go over here for the next couple of hours here on the Morning Steam. Let me say hello to folks in the chat to get our show started. I'm coming off a pretty huge day yesterday for sure. You could cover a lot of days when you had a day like I did yesterday. Yeah, we go high volume and it pays off on a day like yesterday with college basketball. That's what I specialize in for the most part. Give me more opportunities, and I'm able to take the bookie down for sure yesterday with a monster day. I'll tell you about it in just a moment. Let me say hello to my friends in the chat here today started off with Alvin here to open the doors. Thank you, Alvin, and good morning. Joe W. here. Thomas Lewis here's today. Good morning, my friend, and thank you for being here as always. Hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money Network, here on YouTube. Fastest growing. How long is it going to be the fastest growing? I'm going to say that until I think there's something else out there in these realms anyway with our team. We had a fun time last night, even if the games weren't so great. They weren't bad. Johnny Walker, hello, thank you. And Jim Duweiger here today. Thank you, Jim. Nice to see you in the chat. Sir Mackey's here today. Cash canes are rolling. And there's Curtis in the chat today. Appreciate you. David Wallace is here. Robert McCormick on the scene. Gary Ferencz, great to have him here. Says big game tonight. Big game tonight. You know what? We got all these other games kind of crummy, but it all pay off tonight with the big game between the Lions and the Vikings. We'll see what you guys have to say about that one. And Dirty Reg is here. Dirty Reg doing a great job yesterday in the chat. We're with our shows there. I saw Dirty Reg in there. Bo Jackson, hello. Elliot, hello. And a few others, maybe Doubles is here today. Thank you, Doubles. Nice to see you. Jim Dubiger, he's already got the fade train on the Steelers for next week. Looking pretty bad. I was first part of the game there yesterday. I guess well, like I said, the Steelers got the money, so I guess we always bet them. Maybe they'll be getting enough points in their game next week. We'll see what the matchups are after we conclude the action today and, see who's playing who, but starting to unfold already. T-Bird also here today. All right. You guys are eligible for the consensus parlay by entering in your name or your comment in the chat. You can type in anything there, and that'll make you eligible. Peasy's eligible for the drawing as well. We didn't hit it yesterday with the Team Steam consensus, but maybe we can today. Hey, everyone. I do have my best plays up, ready, and available over at winnable.com. My NFL selections for today are up. Look, it's funny, right? The last couple of weeks, I'm a high volume player, but I'm always true to whether or not the sum adds up in my head or whatever I use to make my picks. Hint, 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 wink, wink, wink. And yeah, I had low volume really in the NFL for the last 2 weeks or so, probably because of the way the nature of the games played out for me. Yeah, more so that maybe they fell close to my numbers. And of course, hey, I always going to put my own analytic twist on it. Can't always stick with the numbers, especially on a week 18 like this. But I've got higher volume today, believe it or not, over at winnable.com. Look, a lot of people checking out in some of these games in the NFL. I look at them as maybe even better opportunities. You got to get in there and do the handicapping here. Yeah, it's tough. There might be some whiffs for sure, but you look at the different quarterbacks in there, the players that are missing, the players that sit out, the teams that have big rest, the teams that have motivation. That's what handicapping is all about. So I've got a pretty strong package over there, or at least a big package. Maybe I'm super confident coming off of yesterday's monster day, but hey, check me out over there for a couple of bucks today. You can get my best plays in the NFL. I've got up there right now 9 plays for Sunday compared to last week, 4 plays. The week before that, I think I had 5 plays. And yeah, there were some games on the other days that made the card a little shorter, but going pretty heavy on this one today. I would say that as far as the bets are concerned, I'm kind of approaching it with the attitude of a preseason betting card. Now, that doesn't mean I'm totally I probably bet preseason a little heavier than most, actually, because of those intangibles that I mentioned, but it's still going to be less than a playoff game in a NFL or a big bowl game or something. I don't say bowl games, but those big college games anyway. So check me out over at winnable.com. I'll also have NBA, NHL, and college basketball packages up at the end of this show. So check me out over there at winnable.com/Ramon to get my plays. Thank you for everybody there. Yesterday we did rock the cards. So, okay, click on the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. That'll take you over to that page, and you can get my plays there for today. And appreciate you guys and all your support as well. This is how you support me here on the channel. I used to be on a site around these parts where I would charge $25, $35, $45 for my plays for one day for a card like this. But I don't have to do that here now. I can go lower cost and higher volume. And that's what I like. I like my information to get to a lot of people, just not, a couple of dozen. So look, I can accomplish the same things I'm trying to accomplish here by just charging for a couple of bucks. If you use the promo code STEAM, it's 50 cents a day. It's really a nominal amount. I wouldn't even say you're paying necessarily for the picks themselves. Yeah, I put a lot of work and effort into it. Everyone knows here how much time I love spending on this stuff. It's all I do. But more so, it's about the labor that I put in, just the amount to do the work each day, type in the stuff, and have everything set up. You're basically just paying for the cost of me to do it. So hopefully you like my plays, you're on them. Maybe you just want to use them as a guideline, or maybe you're just not sure about a particular game. You can check what I have and either tail or fade, I guess, right? So thanks everybody for that, and appreciate y'all for being here today. I'll say hello to a few more folks and maybe talk a little of the action from yesterday in the NFL and mostly college basketball. Yeah, I had a lot of plays, but when you're winning 2 out of every 3 plays, there wasn't enough college basketball last night. You should have seen the cutting room floor. It definitely is felt in my bankroll yesterday. So those are the days where it pays off. You can't necessarily get into every game, but the high volume works for me. And on that college basketball card, a lot of fun for me yesterday. You better believe it. The way I was hitting it. So not only college basketball, but also NHL and NBA. I think the numbers here, I want to say 5-1 in the NBA, and
System play.
it looks like 5-2 in the NHL. Maybe it's 5-2 in the NHL. I want to say here, whatever it was. Like I said, the records, I'm not great at that, but everything's on the record, so you can check it out. Pretty monster day yesterday, basically hitting 2 out of every 3 games for the most part all day throughout the NFL. All right. Thanks a lot, you guys, and we'll get started here the show in just a moment. Here's the address for that, winnable.com/Ramon. And you can pick up my plays today. Just a couple of bucks over there. Use that promo code STEAM. You hear it right there in the background as we get ready for our sports betting day. Hello to a few more folks. There's the Blackhawks getting steamed right now. Let's use the Blackhawks as our first play here, or not play, but the first steam move we're hearing about today since the show's been on the air here. The Blackhawks are taking some steam here at plus $1.25 or so right now. They were, I would say, around $1.25, but they're going to be down to $1.15 or so. The Blackhawks taking the steam here against the Rangers. Rangers will be moving to Domingue here as a goalie today on the back-to-back with Quick. Probably not set up for too many back-to-backs for Jonathan Quick, so the Rangers are on their third-string goalie here with Shesterkin out, so maybe there's something to that with the Blackhawks taking the money here today. All right. Let's say hi to a few more folks. We're not going to run down every college basketball game, but we could. Okay, who else is here joining me in the chat? Shayna here today. Nicholas Handy, the winner of the leopard. If no one watches the live betting shows, this might sound a bit awkward, but Nicholas Handy is the reigning champion of the the race there. What are those guys called? He won the race yesterday with the Shamrock. Oh man. Hey, no doubt. Look, Jim Duweiger talking about the mistakes there, that Tomlin just looked like a goofball out there yesterday, having a rough fourth quarter in that one. And Peasy says, you back on the tennis? Yeah, we're going to be busting out some tennis here. I've been on tennis this week, but with this event, especially the United Cup, not necessarily the United Cup has been the featured tennis of the week. It's not really even covered too heavily by some people because of it's not necessarily a tournament that someone is winning, as you have the international teams facing off. But we saw great action in the United Cup here last night. Yeah, there's some other tournaments that are going on as well. We saw some finals already today in the events this week with we saw Muller over Nishikori here earlier today. And also we saw Lechka over Opelka, but that was a default finish there, I believe, there yesterday. But the featured attraction certainly last night was Coco Gauff with her incredible, just terrific performance over Iga Swiatek at the United Cup, representing the United States. Did feel like in that situation that maybe Gauff was going to be the more motivated player there, and the win 6-4, 6-4. Really, I couldn't go to bed until that one was over for sure last night with Coco Gauff looking outstanding against Swiatek. Yeah, it's on a hard court. Maybe that does favor Coco now, but still for her to win that match over the top player here, I don't know, Sabalenka also looked pretty good in her tournament win over Kudermetova, but it did take her 3 sets to do that. Philly Eagle Flyer, good morning and hello. And Thomas Purdy, you're talking 100K parlay. I don't know. We'd have some fun with that. Let's see here. Dirty Reg is ready to get back in on the MMA, ready to go this week. That's going to be awesome. Get back to the UFC here this week. Philly Eagle Flyer talking about that Rangers game that I watched against Hibernian just a few moments ago. James Parm here today. Thank you for being here. Thomas is ready. I think he's got his plays already up here. What's he got here? Washington, Carolina, Tampa Bay over, Kansas City over, and the Vikings game to go over. Thomas ready to fire here on a Sunday. Textiles also maybe watched the match last night. I'm a little tired staying up through that match and the show we had last night. Fernando talking a little EPL here. We're watching Fulham and Ipswich Town right now, and I've also got Lecce and Genoa here in Italian league action. So a little bit of soccer going on here on this Sunday. All right, we'll get ready. It's still going to be kind of a long show here, so we won't talk too much about the action yesterday, but the Bengals over that 2-point win over the Steelers. Cade York, 4 field goals to do that one. Cincinnati over the Steelers. Steelers just under 200 yards, but Jamar Chase, he had 10 receptions for 96 yards and that touchdown there yesterday. The Steelers are in the playoffs, but they've lost 4 in a row, as you see, ready to fade them there in the chat a little bit. Today, if Denver wins, they're in the playoffs. If Denver loses and Miami wins or ties, then the Dolphins are in the playoffs. And if they both lose, then the Bengals will get in here today. So that's how it's working out in the AFC. The Ravens also dumped the Browns. We saw in a cover, in and over, Baltimore clinches the AFC North with a 35-10 victory. The pick 6 early. Henry, 2 touchdowns, and the Ravens will either host Pittsburgh or the Chargers in the playoffs next week. I'm a Chargers fan. I want to take on the Houston Texans. It's probably leaning that way right now, but we'll see here. So, all right, the SEC kicked off yesterday, and the favorites went 7-1 against the spread in the first round of SEC play. How about that early winner, though, with that Kentucky-Florida game? I had we gave out the over on the show, and I had Kentucky as my premium play there yesterday over the undefeated Gators as Kentucky. Basically we're scoring a basket every possession, it felt like yesterday. And how about that other wild one with Alabama crushing Oklahoma? Alabama, they're a scoring machine right now, and they scored 100 points for the fourth time this season. Tennessee won again, and they remain undefeated. Other good games, Iowa State over Baylor, Arizona knocking off Cincinnati. How about the Carolina-Notre Dame game? 74-73, Carolina with the victory yesterday. We tried to lay the points there. We did have the under as a premium winner, but we had the heels, I believe, here on the show. Virginia Tech premium pick winner yesterday over Miami. Miami led late, but Tech got the win there. So pretty good win for us. St. John's and Butler was won by the Red Storm. We did have the under as a premium pick game there. One interesting note, we did have San Diego State yesterday here on the show. Remember, my Aztecs, I know them pretty good, so I thought they'd get the money there at Boise State. They dominated the boards, but just want to put this note in so far this season in the Mountain West Conference that home favorites are 0-12 against the spread so far in the Mountain West. So also, some big upsets yesterday included Ball State. We had them as a premium pick winner. They beat Kent State by 8, and George Washington knocked off Dayton yesterday by 20 as an 8.5-point dog. Omaha over North Dakota State as 11.5-point dog. FIU knocked off Western Kentucky. Richmond over UMass, and Sacramento State over Portland State. Some upsets in college basketball. That was part of my success there yesterday for sure on the card.
Steam play.
All right, some steam coming in here real quick, and then we'll kick off the show and get it going here right now. We got to talk about all these NFL games. Siena taking some steam here in college basketball. There's already been quite a bit of college basketball steam, but here is Siena in their game at home against Iona taking the steam here right now. Siena was a 2.5-point favorite. They're up to 3 or 3.5 right now. Siena taking the steam here on the Morning Steam Show. All right, see if anybody else rolled in. We're ready to go. I think we've got everybody in here. I was later than usual. Believe me, I am late every day, so save the comments, all those trolls that come in and make fun of me, but please adjust your schedules. I mean, I'll be late to my own funeral. So let's see here. And it's not like I'm screwing around, you guys. I'm working to the last minute trying to make sure we got some great plays or at least some great information here. I can't stop myself sometimes when I see a bit of information I want to add to the show. So all right, let's see who else is here. There's a Yo D here today, and I'll put the running hot comment up there today for sure. Billy Siegfried, hello. Thank you for checking in and saying hi. That's what I appreciate. Look, not everyone can make it and be a chat all-star every day typing in plays, but there's no doubt that you guys are watching out there, so I do appreciate Billy. He's checked in before, but I think he has anyway. Keandre Westmoreland, thank you. Another one just saying hi. Really appreciate that. Here's Abel A, though, who's been doing a great job with his contributions here of late. And how about Anthony Edwards yesterday? I am worried about my age and my eyesight because I was on the show yesterday and I said, oh my God, look at this. Anthony Edwards has 34 of the Timberwolves 68 points. And then they corrected me on the show. They said, no, Ramon, that's 43 of their 68 points and just the 2 assists. You can see what the problem there is a little bit with Edwards' play, but he's still awesome. I'll just say right now, and I think we've talked about it a little bit or hinted about it. I'm not an insider, certainly. I just try to read the tea leaves. And, I think this is starting to become the majority opinion here right now. And we could be seeing, I don't know if it's going to happen this morning during the show. Can we run the, breaking news banner to this? But the Suns could be the team closing in on a deal here. There's probably some hangups here from just reading the beat writers a little bit. But could it be Jimmy Butler to the Suns as the quote unquote winner of the Butler sweepstakes here? They've certainly, looks like, moved to the forefront here right now. Maybe it's just a matter of time. Maybe someone else comes in. Maybe it's a smokescreen. But for right now, it does look like the Suns are in the lead to land Jimmy Butler. But again, you also have a team that knows they have to trade somebody. And You can play a little bit of hardball there a little bit. Yeah, I think the competition maybe for Butler will at least make the deal more fair for the Heat, but we'll see. Could it happen today, or will it happen? Will it just take a long time because of those factors? Here's the Washington Huskies right now taking steam in their game tonight against Illinois at home. Steam here on the Huskies. They were an 8.5-point dog. It's probably going to be 8 or 7.5 here momentarily as the steam's coming in on the Huskies tonight in Big Ten competition. Still got to used to saying that. All these teams adjusting to these conferences in college basketball. Another one, the Oregon State, Washington State combo, they've moved to the West Coast Conference, and you think of every year, Gonzaga certainly rolling again yesterday. How could they only be 15 points against Loyola or whatever they are? But so far, Oregon State, Washington State combined 5-1 in the West Coast Conference, and after years of Gonzaga and St. Mary's, they're going to have to contend a little bit with Oregon State and Washington State. Sure, Gonzaga still Gonzaga, but we saw Oregon State 12-4, a very good shooting team. Washington State 13-3, another good shooting team. So that conference will be more interesting than usual. All right, there's Fernando. Fernando says no one said anything about that game. I'd challenge you to go back you don't want to go back on that, but there's no doubt I gave out Hawaii on the game or on the show last night when they pitched it to me. And was a strong winner there. Sacred Heart taking some steam. Sacred Heart here in their matchup today. They are taking the steam right now in their game against Canisius. They were a 9-point favorite, but they're up to 10.5 or 11 here right now with Sacred Heart taking the steam against Canisius. And moments ago, we heard another one, and it's one we already talked about in the NHL with that Blackhawks team. Now here comes the steam on the over again, maybe related to the goalie situation here. There's no doubt. It looks like the Rangers will have their backup in here, and we're going to see this total move in the Rangers game to 6.5 under for the most part here. There's some sharp books hanging out still at 6 over, but the total's definitely moved here with the Rangers and the Blackhawks. All right, a few more names here if we can, and I want to start the show. Let's see here. Arnaz is here today. Thank you for seeing us today. And might be it here. Robert says Ipswich has a goal here. Thank you. All right. That's right. You got it, Billy. But they did cover last night some 15, but it was a weak opponent. I'm all about Gonzaga, but I know the problems that the team has when they move. And, maybe they could get toughened up here with the likes of a Washington State and Oregon State. We're not trying to sell you on those two teams, but, maybe one of the things, Gonzaga plays a tough schedule. And in the end, they end up playing so many weak teams that maybe it hurts them a little bit down the stretch. D-Money, hello. Thank you for being here. Here's Purdue taking the steam here right now in today's matchup with Northwestern. Purdue was a 6-point favorite, but they're going to be up to 7 here right now against the Northwestern team that, even when they had their star player over the last couple of years, Northwestern has been able to get the money against them. Hello and welcome to Strategic Investments here today. And he's got, of course, his Chapiadora play of the day. Now, he does say he's got fat fingers there. Oh, because he typed the spread wrong there. Okay, I see there. But I like the Chapiadora play of the day. I hope I got that right. Thank you for being here, Strategic Investments. All right. So let's get rolling with the show. Start talking a little football here. Like I said, coming off of a day where, we had heavy volume, but we were, I've got it at 65.4% yesterday on my premium pick. So hopefully that worked for everybody. felt like more winners for me, but I'm betting a lot of games. Those are my top plays. So, all right, here we go. Deep breath as we get into the action here right now in the NFL and start us off with the Saints and the Buccaneers. Yeah, just when I was about to start, here comes another steam play, at least in college basketball. We'll keep you updated on these for sure. This is how our college basketball coverage kind of works here on this show, is to keep interrupting myself and tell you what games are moving. How about North Texas and their matchup? The last game on the board here today at 5 Eastern and 2 Pacific with North Texas. They were a 9-point dog, probably down to 8.5, probably 8 here right now, actually. Maybe Memphis has been the better cover than North Texas this season, but North Texas takes the steam here today. All right, let's get into it now and try to fill you in on, or at least maybe you guys can fill me in on what the motivations are of each team. I think we got it together here for the most part with the Saints and the Buccaneers. But, there's also quarterback situations and all that we have to sift through a little bit. So, all right, let me get to some of the notes here, and you guys can kind of start coming in with your picks here as well. So I'll start this one off with the Saints and the Bucks. Saints come in, of course, 5-11 here in this one. They'll have Rattler, of course, in the game here today. Buccaneers, we know, at least for now, one of the games at least has some factors here that allow for the Buccaneers to have motivation here in this one. It's going to be tough, of course, for the Bucks here. Not to get in or anything. I'm just talking about their prospects for the postseason. All they have to do is win this game. They don't have to win by 2 touchdowns. I guess should be more of the point that I'm trying to make here with this game. But it's basically winning you're in, but they're a 14-point favorite. So will they smash here today against the Saints, I guess, is the only question in the matchup. For the Saints, they come in 2-5 straight up, 2-5 against the spread on the road this season. The Saints have been a very good road underdog over the last several years, 16-7-1 their last 24 games, but they're just 2-8 against the spread this season when coming in off of a loss. Saints on the road in division, 13-6-1 in their last 20 games in the NFC South on the road. So that's pretty good roll for them, but it's just a matter of can they get anything together in the matchup here today against the Buccaneers, who clinched the NFC South with that victory. So Bucks are 5-1 out of the bye. Their offense has been pretty terrific, of course, averaging about 35 points a game, if not a few more here, it feels like, over the last several weeks. So the Bucks offense clicking just in time. They're 5-2-1 against the spread in their last 8 games as a home favorite. Tampa's gone over in 10 of their last 13 games overall. And defensively, they've been doing a nice job as well, holding their last 7 opponents to under 100 yards rushing. So Bucks won the first meeting between the two teams 51-27 back in week 6 in New Orleans. They were a 3.5-point dog in that game. Remember, that's when the Saints, they were already starting to fade a little bit at that point, but they had started the season so well that the Bucks somehow ended up the dog. Amazing. Here we go, all through the Saints hot start, the Falcons having a moment there a little bit, and Falcons, we know they're still in it, but it will be the Bucks, it looks like, again, ending up on top after all that. So Tampa's won 4 out of the last 5 in the series, but interestingly, the Saints have actually won 5 of their last 6 trips into Tampa. So go figure. That basically means this is a road team dominated series, which has gone under in 5 of the last 7 meetings. Let's see what you guys have here in the chat. Not too much from you guys in this one. Hey, Matthew Green, nice to see you here. Oh, there's Thomas. Matthew says, is there no motivation? And I would almost agree with that, right? I mean, sure, the motivation is there for the Bucks, but it does feel a little bit like you could win, going away or without a full 100% effort, but this is the NFL after all. You do have to put forth some effort. Almost intimidating to be a 2-touchdown favorite, right? And don't forget, Cash Kane says you got all those incentives here today. Be careful, everyone, on those. Look, I don't mind if we go crazy on the overs with all the players that need incentives. The books certainly have adjusted in every case. I mean, there are some cases where we've seen extra yards, 20, 30 yards on some of these props. So they are jacking them up. But I would also argue where, there are a lot of people saying the same thing that I am, that, look, be careful. The books are jacking up all these players and their props for the incentive bonuses. But there's also an argument to be made that, they might just keep feeding them no matter what. So you have to consider that as well. Super true. Hello to you. Nasty Nate says the Bucks will smash here. And Robert is on the Saints here as well. There's Billy. So here's the thing, you guys. I mean, it basically comes down to, I know you guys are saying, the maybe the tiebreaker scenarios and whatnot, but basically the Bucks are, like I said, win and you're in. And there's even the slimmest of chances that they wouldn't, but you know the roles. And if they lose, they're still have a shot to get in, but it will be reduced dramatically here. Let's see, Robert on the Saints and Bucks and under maybe for Fernando. Matt D here today. Hi, Matt. He likes the Broncos tonight. Says lay it. Abel says, how about an SGP with Baker over and Evans over in his yards and receptions? And Gerardo, good morning. Johnny says, buy the hook down. And Matt D says, take Tampa with the Evans props there. Okay. All right, I'm going to make the call here right now. For me, I don't know. I'm afraid to lay 14.5 points here, I think, on the show or even in the premiums. But I will say this, handicappers are quite heavy here on quite heavy here right now on the Buccaneers here. I'm showing handicappers are basically, I want to say it's almost 90% of handicappers I surveyed on the Buccaneers here today. So I've got the under here in this one at 44.5. All right. Oh, and then just when I said that, Kiadra says over. Oh, darn it. All right. Well, we might be on a different page with that one, but I really appreciate Kiadra stepping in here with the chat all-stars here today. Hello, stars. Next up, the Bills and the Patriots here in this one, and we'll talk about what's my motivation, right? You still do have the Bills here favored, but again, what the storyline for the quarterback situation here in this one is, you're going to have Josh Allen certainly starting the game, but not likely to finish this one, as he'll hit the bench, rest him up, save him up, but he just wants to extend, for the most part, his starting streak. So he definitely wants to give this one a go, get out there and get things started for the Bills in this one. They're still favored here. This total there, I typed these in last night, but we're seeing a heavy move here right now. 36.5 is long gone. The total here right now is 35 flat for the most part. We're seeing the move actually right now. The tote is lit up here in this matchup on the under. It feels like this is a little bit steamy here right now in this one. It already got steam for the most part back in a close opener of 38. It even opened a little bit higher than that, but the writing should have been on the wall here for the Bills and the Patriots. Now, the Patriots have their own issues here in this one with Drake May, with a little bit of injury status coming in. There is even talk that May might not finish. There was talk that May wouldn't even necessarily be able to start this game, and that Joe Milton would Joe Cannon, who would be in there, and Joe Milton would get playing time here for the Patriots today. So that does make a little bit of a factor here, but there's still, division game. The Bills and their situation might be just secure enough that, the what's my motivation game here. Like I said, it feels like with the Bills here at the number 2 seed. So go ahead in the chat and see. We definitely have questions all over here in this one. So here's the other thing: New England, if they lose this game, they clinch the first pick. Even with yesterday, what we saw with Cleveland moving to the top of the bottom of the stand, whatever you want to say it. Cleveland right now at 3-14. But if New England loses, they would get the number 1 pick. Is that a factor for you in this game as far as your picks are concerned? Patriots have gone 0-6 in their last 6 and gone 2-4 against the spread overall. New England led the other day, a couple weeks ago in the game, right? 14-0. You remember, against the Bills 2 weeks ago, and ended up losing that game 24-21. So Patriots outgained Buffalo in that game 379-324, but Buffalo still won 8 of the last 10 in the series, and Buffalo 3-1 in their last 4 trips here into Foxborough here. So let's see what you have maybe in this one with the Bills and the Patriots. Buffalo, we know, will host a playoff game next week. So got to make sure they're ready when you got a Super Bowl contender. And let's see what we got in the chat. Here we go. I think I'm catching them here. Nasty Nate. Wait a minute, Nate. How can you say it? Because of the Patriot. Well, we know Nasty Nate, even if he is, I don't know, a homer sometimes. He's honest. He's true. He's honest and true here. Says Bills smash. All right, Fernando, Bills smash spot. Thomas, Bills first half. Fernando says, is the game in New York? Nope, it's in New England. It's in Foxborough. All right. Patriots here with the points for Kiadra. Says maybe it'll be the back door, right? Better you want Drake May in there for sure. Man, we have been a while since we've seen Milton there. All right. Let's see here. Bill says, what do you guys think the Patriots will do with their first pick, right? If they feel like they've got their quarterback and Drake May moving forward, you don't need one of those guys. Can the Patriots trade out? Would they go for a guy like Hunter, maybe? And Fernando says, is this a weather situation? I don't think it is. I think it's a very nice day there. Yes, it's cold there. 30 degrees throughout the game, 10 to 13 mile an hour winds, but I think mostly the total's dropping here because of the, quarterbacking situation here for sure. You're going to get, I failed to mention, but you're going to get MVP Mitch in the game for the Bills for most of the game. Once Allen checks out, you're going to get MVP Mitch in there, and we know how it goes with Trubisky in at quarterback. Here's Abel says go under first quarter and first half, even with Allen in there. You'd think that'd be the one to go over, but maybe they just make sure he stays healthy, hand off the ball. All right, that might be it from you guys. Oh, here's Johnny Walker at Buffalo first half. All right. Hey, all right. I'm taking the over then. If it's going down to 35, come on. Drake May is going to be in there today. Hopefully he stays in the game. I will need Drake May in there if I'm going to get to this over here. But for me, in this one, a lot of people, there's 2 ways to look at it. And I look at this as for some of these teams, this is almost like preseason week number 1, right? And the season's over for the regular season. And yes, there's a few big games, but feels like we got a lot of preseason games here. And while some of those do end up going under in the preseason, I think it's mostly because people don't want to get hurt. I think here in this type of preseason game or end of the season game, I'm going to question the defense's intensity here. I know I whiffed on that one earlier this week, but okay, let's see here. Cash Kane teased the total and went under. I'm going to take the over, though, in this one. Next, one more here with Abel. Likes over in the second half. I would too, Abel. All right, here's the Bears taking on the Packers in this one. Hey, throw out the records when it's, well, no, don't throw out the records when it's the Bears and the Packers this year. But still, it is the Bears and the Packers. And the Bears, look, they got the money in that game against the Seahawks, even if the score was 6-3. And we'll see here. What did the Packers do today in this one as a near double-digit favorite here for sure. So you got another situation where you have to question the rest factor, the motivation factor in the situation. The Bears, they've already blown it here to a certain extent with winning here a little bit of late. So we'll see what happens here tonight with the Bears taking on the Packers in Lambeau Field. You got Packers here, they've actually split their last 4 games after that 9-3 start, and they'll be on the road next week in the playoffs. For the Bears, they've only lost 10 straight games here right now, but 3-7 against the spread here. But the Bears, I don't know. They seem to wake up for the Packers for some reason. The Bears are just 3-4 as a road underdog this season. That's actually a little bit better than their usual record as a road dog. The Bears have gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall. But like I said, the Packers have lost 2 of their last 4 games coming in. Green Bay 4-3 against the spread as a home favorite this season. Packers won the first meeting at Chicago 20-19 as a 6-point favorite. Now, maybe the Bears, I don't know, were they any better back then? I don't know if they necessarily were. They were certainly involved in this losing streak or the early part of this losing streak back then. So 9.5, 41.5 for the most part here. Green Bay, remember, there was probably 3 minutes left in that game when they scored a touchdown. So Bears haven't beaten the Packers in 6 years right now. So I'm still going to be on the Bears. I don't care. I think the Packers can pack it in a little bit in this one. Whether or not, we'll see if their situation calls for a little bit of rest for Love. I'm not sure. It feels like he could use as much work as he can get. What have you thought about Caleb Williams moving forward here? You can't doubt they're still. It's tough, right, you guys, because the Bears are so bad around him, and it's easy to criticize Williams, and then all of a sudden he makes a play, and you're like, okay, maybe he is okay here. I'll take the Bears in this one, and that total at 41. I'm going to have a premium pick, I think, in that. Let's see what you guys say with this one of the Bears in the pack today. Here we go. Green Bay first half for Thomas. I like Thomas's thinking here today, right? Focusing more on the first half where maybe you will see the regulars in there. Bill and I are on the same page here a little bit, talking about the Raiders. And I'm a Chargers fan, so I don't like the Raiders, but I'm living in Vegas. I'm trying to, I'm a gambler, so I can be open-minded about rooting for a team when they need to be rooted for, if you know what I mean. But when the Raiders moved to Las Vegas, I said, you know what? Even Mark Davis can't screw this one up. And I made my first trip out there last week to Allegiant Stadium. It is a beautiful stadium, but it's a little bit, let's just say I don't want to say thrown together. It's a brilliant stadium, but for the Raiders to move from that dump in Oakland to this, I was like, you know what? Maybe this could help the Raiders turn it around. But, whatever reason, maybe Tom Brady can have some influence here in the future. But does that even matter? Does he know what he's doing? Okay. And Johnny, I think, is saying he's got the Packers in a Wong. All right. Fernando says the Bears aren't going to be able to score any points. The Packers are going to play this one very, very hard, I think is what Fernando's saying. Jim's on Green Bay here. And how about Josh Jacobs here? Wondering about how much time Josh Jacobs will see in the game. I think is a fair question here. I mean, especially when you're going up against the Bears, bottom three defense against the run for sure. But I do think in this one, you will see as much of Emmanuel Wilson here as you will again Josh Jacobs. That's what I would think. Sancho does have the Vikings tonight as his play of the day. He likes them here in the matchup against the Lions on the road. He likes them on the money line to win it outright. Robert says he'll still take the Bears here. Jermaine, Bears under first quarter. Got to stay away with the trend. The Bears got 3 points the first quarter points on the road this season. Hope I said that right. I just whipped through that there a little much. And Jim says, the Packers do have that motivation to get up to that number 6 seed. It's still going to result in a road game. And all right, that's it for that one, you guys. I'll take the Bears as well here with that 10-game losing streak. Call me, maybe I'm in a funk there in the NFL and I'm on tilt. Got a few more steam plays here real quick, if I may, to pass along here that came in while we were talking these first couple of games. We've got right now the Flyers and the Leafs. Game total under here. We're seeing a move to the under with the Flyers and the Leafs. The Leafs are definitely in a situation where we've seen them go under. Here, we'll talk about the hockey a little bit, but we're seeing steam to the under here. It's probably going to go down to 6 over. At this point. So also right before that, a couple minutes before that, we saw steam on Illinois State in their matchup with Southern Illinois. Now, Southern Illinois has had their way a little bit in that series, or they've covered for the most part in that series against Illinois State. But this year, Illinois State, very good against the spread. Southern Illinois, not so much. Steam came in on Illinois State. It was a minus. They were -6, but man, they're up to looks like -8 here possibly right now with Illinois State. What are you guys seeing at your books here? Illinois State took the steam in that one against Southern Illinois. All right, let's move on to the next one here on our board. Oh, wait, Philly Flyers talking a little hockey here real quick. Oh, he's got his plays. Hawks, Canes, Leafs over 5.5. Bruins over 4.5. And he's talking steam. Don't follow that steam on Leafs Flyers. Probably be 10 goals. All right, Johnny Walker says 7.5 for Illinois State. How about that? The move is on. All right. Next up. Well, we got to playing out the string here with the Jaguars and the. Should we be skipping these games? Never in the NFL. The Jaguars taking on the Colts here in this one. Look, I've been talking about Mac Jones. Looks like a different quarterback in Jacksonville for sure. Now, he may be the man to be the backup in Jacksonville. Maybe that is his job moving forward here. He's not going to get a starting job at this point, but I don't know, out of these plug-in quarterbacks here, Jones has been okay, it feels like, down the stretch. Look, you got Jonathan Taylor here if he wants. He could have a field day, I would think, against this run defense. Certainly a bottom 3 run defense right now out of Jacksonville. Jacksonville's run defense isn't too good either, but we'll see because they've got Tank. They've got Tank. Could we see some Tank today? Now, look, Tank has felt, this feels like he's kind of replaced ATN here, but they might equally share the load a little bit today. But man, everyone's excited about the prospects of Tank Bigsby. It feels like moving forward, he certainly has a pretty good matchup here in this one, as do the. It does feel like the Colts in general with Flacco in the lineup here, but still is expected to be, imagine this, a matchup here with Joe Flacco at quarterback against Mac Jones and the total's 45. I guess are they going to have a bit of a mini shootout here between these teams? I'm going to take the under. I'm going to bank against it here. I know that maybe it could be a popular consent here that we will see some points. I mean, that's what it looks like the total's going here. And yeah, while these two teams, are done here for the season at this point, that's a pretty high total for me. So I'm going to end up taking the under in this one with the Jaguars and the Colts. Who's going to really now look? Brian Thomas is another one for the Jaguars who really has excelled here. I mentioned on one of the shows this week. Could you look at the top receivers in the NFL? They're all from Louisiana. Well, how is that? How does that even happen? Brian Thomas is one of them. So, but good matchup for Thomas here. He could have a good day as long as Jones can get it to him. And the same for the Colts receivers, Pittman, Downs, and Pierce. So I get it. I can see why everybody's going to take the over here, but I'm going to take the under in this one as my play here on the Morning Steam show. Let's see what you guys have in this one. I don't want to spend too much time on some of these games anyway, but we've got serious steam here coming in right now. This is in an NFL game here, and we're about to talk about this game, but it's still going to be a few minutes down the line. So let me pass this along. The Dolphins and the Jets, we are seeing steam here to the under, down to 37 here, it looks like right now. I will mention that is going to be my play here on the Morning Steam. So I will mention it right now since it is on the move lower. If you were going to play the under, you got to do it now, maybe to save a half a point here, it feels like, as this one continues to move lower here right now. Dolphins and Jets, steam to the under, down to 37 at some books, 37.5 still at some, but 37 here right now. More steam here before we move on. Let me get your plays here and I'll cover these real quick, like. And Billy he thinks Williams cannot salvage this. He thinks it was a wasted pick here. Gerardo's got his action here in the NHL. Thank you, Gerardo. As well, Cash Kane says Colts by double digits here to rock today against the Jags. And Billy Flyer liking those dogs in hockey. Ray says we got, hey, Tom Gates, thank you for being here and checking in with us. Really appreciate you, Tom, to stop in and say hi and look at that chopper, would you? Thank you, Tom. Thomas says he'll take Jacksonville. He may lay the points here with Jacksonville today. Billy says, do you think Rodgers is going to retire? I think he wants to play. I think it's just going to be a matter of if someone, if a team is willing to. What team could you speculate could use a player like Rodgers? The Jets, that was just a bad decision, right? I still think if you put Rodgers on one of these championship contending teams, I think it would be all right. What team do you think could use a veteran quarterback to get him over the hump? The Jets were never going to be. Remember, we were talking Jets Super Bowl. How could we have done that? Jags here for Robert. Thank you, Donut. Nice to see you today. Nunya here as well. We were talking Nunya. I was telling them last night, Nunya, about they were teasing me about hand the phone to your new employer so I can give a live reference for Nunya on the Morning Steam show as he sat in with his interview. He said, listen to this guy on YouTube talking to 100 people about sports, but he wants to say something nice about Nunya and his consistency to get in there. All right, gang, appreciate it. That one, I'm going to take the under in the Jaguars and the Colts. All right. Next up here now, hope we didn't get into too much of that one. And here's another one here. Well, we can't argue this one too much about, because the Falcons definitely here have the motivation, at least if they can, to get up for this one. Now, even if they win, they only have a 14% chance of making the playoffs given the situation ahead of them, with the Bucks here, but they still need to win the game over the Panthers in this one. So they're favored here by 7.5, and the total 48 in this one. Wow, are we really going to see that kind of game today out of the Panthers and the Falcons in this one? Amazingly enough, it's the Panthers that have the veteran quarterback here, and Bryce Young coming in. Young has, I don't know if it's enough improvement to get anybody excited or anything, right, moving forward, but he is playing the best football, obviously, of his professional career here, at least of late. So for the Falcons, well, Penix, yes, he's looked good. I would say, to me, to the naked eye, look, I love, the way he can throw the ball, but everything looks to be a little bit in slow motion to me. And I don't think we're going to see. I don't know. I want to root for Penix moving forward, but it just seems a little bit slow, a little bit deliberate. I really wonder about his long-term stability and scrambling when he needs to and gaining yardage on the ground. I don't think he looks fast at all. We'll see, but the Falcons here need a performance here from Penix to just try to do whatever they can to try to get into the postseason here. So, what do you guys think in this one with the Falcons favored here by 7.5 points in the matchup against the Panthers? Got a few notes here I want to cover with the game since there's a little bit of importance here anyway. They need a win. They need a Tampa Bay loss in order to get in. Penix here, he's 1-1, obviously, in the 2 games so far. The Falcons are just 3-5 against the spread at home this season. Atlanta just 6-16-1. Their last 23 as a home favorite. 10-14-1 last 25 against the spread. Coming in off of a loss, the Falcons have gone under in 6 of their last 8 games overall. Panthers here just 3-7-1 against the spread. Their last 11 division games, Panthers have gone over in 12 of their 16 games this season. We know it's not because of their offense necessarily, but like I said, the total here is 48 here right now. It's the Panthers' opponent team total that's gone over in 11 of their 16 matchups here so far. But even though Carolina's lost 5 of their last 6 games, they have gone 6-2 against the spread in those games, and 6 of their last 8 games have been decided by a touchdown or less. So I'm going to have to take the Carolina Panthers here in this one against the Falcons. The Falcons probably are not going to the postseason here, but let's see if this is going to be enough for you guys with Penix in the matchup here. Like I said, Panthers, to me, the defense is drastically improved as the season has gone along, and they're not moving up into the upper echelons or anything, but they've stuck with it. And as much as they were the laughing stock of the league, and they haven't improved on much, but they've been pretty darn competitive. Thomas will start us off with the Panthers here, but here's Cash Kane, says Falcons money line today. Here's Cash Kane, Falcons also. Oh, wait a minute, got it twice. All right. Yeah, Jermaine says, if Young is playing, give me the Panthers here in this one. Yeah, that's what I've got for sure. You got to have Bryce Young here for the Panthers, playing out the string here in this one. But it's a good matchup for Penix. I mean, Carolina, I'm talking about the improved defense, but the numbers would still say that, they're certainly, bottom 3 or 4 run defense. And I would think also for Drake London, who continues to shine here late in the season, should have a pretty decent game. I got to like Drake London here today. And watch out. I'm going to maybe take a stab with Kadero Hodge as a long shot prop for Atlanta today. Interesting, Adam Thielen, hasn't he excelled here towards the end of maybe just the second half of the season in general? I don't know if we wanted to write off Adam Thielen, and Johnny says, put Atlanta in your Wong. All right, here Ray does like the over in this one. Over very popular, I will say today with the handicap, uh, paid handicappers here. Robert's on the Panthers. Thomas says he'll take the Panthers here on the alternate line as well. I think he means taking less points here, it looks like. And Bijan for Abel here today. Bijan could be, I don't know. It could be that Bijan could end up having one of the biggest games of any player in the league today, but we'll see. When we say that, he usually ends up falling short, right? All right. Yeah, Billy, right? I mean, guys on no knee, what is it? No knee cartilage or something like that. So, Cash Cane says they just don't really have much talent on the Panthers, but the running game definitely is going to be challenged here today. So it does look like going to have to go to the air here with Thielen. We'll see what is Xavier Legette's status here. Actually, I want to see that he's got still questionable, right? So that does make a bit of a difference for me. So I'm just going to use the Panthers as my free play here today. Kind of want to premium them, but I've got a premium on the total. All right, Thomas says I'm taking too many points here, probably for the last day of the season, I think. All right, Tex says he likes that under on that steam move. Donut Silks mentioned back with that Tampa game about Rashad White. All right, thank you guys. Got to keep it moving here right now. Get to the next one with the Commanders and the Cowboys here in Texas, in Dallas. Let's see what we have in this one with the Commanders. There's no doubt that, look, Dallas has covered some games here down the stretch, and as long as we've made fun of them, and as bad of a season it's been in Dallas, considering their expectations, they've actually fought back here a little bit, improved on their record here to 7-9 and winning 4 of their last 6 games after that 0-5 skid there. So for the Commanders coming in, of course, they'll be on the road next week. They've clinched a playoff spot here, having won their last 4 games, and they're averaging 32, 33, 34 points per game. I'm just looking at the log here. I'm pretty good at math, but for the Washington Commanders, they're 3-4 against the spread on the road this season, and just 4-7 on the road in their last 11 division games here. Now, they are pretty strong when coming off of a win, very strong, 22-11 against the spread coming off of a win, but it's just a matter of what Dallas defense shows up here. It feels like a little bit. Look, the Commanders are the team that everyone's kind of looking to say fade them a little bit in the playoffs. And I get that, but they've still had an incredible season for maybe the expectations here. So it's kind of tough to get on them, get on their case a little bit, even though that the defense has some problems here. They're not a playoff winning caliber defense, I guess, is a fair statement, right, about the Commanders, the way they've kind of given it up here. But the one thing they do, I think, is harass the quarterback a little bit. Now, we're supposed to see Cooper Rush, but we're also expected to see Trey Lance. That is an uncomfortable feeling here. I still want to take the dog. I just would wish that Cooper Rush was going to be in there all game. But I guess we're expected to see Trey Lance here a little bit. But just Rico Dowdle probably have a pretty strong game here. I would think he would be the man. If I'm going to take Dallas here, I'm going to need Rico Dowdle to have a game here a little bit in this one. So, look, Daniels can almost do what he wants. It feels like when he doesn't find his receiver or have time with his receiver, he can take off running. But be careful. Don't get hurt out there today, Daniels. McLaurin, man, talk about up and down, right? I know he missed the game against Atlanta, but you just wonder, he didn't practice on, let's see. No, what did he have last? Oh, no, I say he didn't play, but I mean, his crummy performance. What was it here last week? We were really bagging on him in that game against Atlanta. 7 targets, 1 reception in that game. So it's just been a real disappointment on a lot of these games for McLaurin. So you could look to Brown here. I know he didn't play last week, but trying to find some other options here for the Commanders, right? I just have a lot of problems finding where the offense might come from in this one. Yeah, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, but the Cowboys have been okay rush defense here. I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one, plus those points. It just seems maybe a little bit high at a touchdown here, and Thomas is right. I'm taking more points here today. I'm feeling dogged. Let's see what you guys have in the chat with this one, but also maybe I'm on tilt a little bit after not winning those NFL games here last week and this week. Here we go. I think Kiadra might be. Is it over in this one or the other one? Thomas is on. Thomas and I are not on the same page this week. That's all there is to it. And Donut says Dallas has killed him at home. Dallas is crushing him at home right now and not getting the job done. Yeah, they're 2-6 against the spread at home. You really on the road is where they're doing a little bit better work, it feels like, right? Cowboys are just 2-6 against the spread. Their last 8 games as a home underdog. So I'm going to have to overcome that. Raise on the Cowboys here. And Kiadra says, you're going to lose your money here, Ramon. Robert's on the Commanders. And right, Bill? And that's the thing about the SC receivers a little bit. I think that is an area where they have excelled in their recruiting talent. All right. And Kiadra says you've got the Cowboys at home. I will argue this one, though, Kiadra, actually. The Cowboys at home in division, they are actually 18-5 against the spread in their last 23 home division games. But you're right. Like I said, they're 2-6 against the spread at home this season. But this is division game here. It's still Cowboys, Redskins. Yes, I said it. I just, that bums me out. Cowboys and Redskins was a classic, right? All right. Pickens was, we were making fun of him, weren't we, last night? All right. He just disappeared. He checked out, is what I said.
Team play.
Fulham got a penalty kick coming up here, Philly Eagle Flyer says. All right. Anyways, my play here. I have a premium on this game on the total, so give me the Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys here. Okay, Texans and Titans here now in another situation where you have one team, heading for the postseason, and you're going up against here. This is big news in the world of betting. The Titans have already clinched the worst one-season spread record in NFL history. So hopefully you haven't been betting the Titans this year, or you have gone to the woodshed here a little bit with their awful spread record on NFL poor record here coming into the final week of the season. What are they? 2-14, I think, is their current record against the spread. Just a disaster here for the Titans this season. I always say that, to me, the coach of the year should be the coach with the best spread record, right? Because that's the coach, that's the team that has overachieved the most, according to the public. Goal on that PK by Fulham. So, to me, it seems like if you have a good spread record, that means you've overachieved. If you have a bad spread record, that means you have failed expectations. Tennessee's 1-12 against the spread in their last 13 games. It doesn't seem to be getting any better. They're 0-7 against the spread at home. Talk about giving your money away, right? Tennessee here, they did upset the Texans in one of their few covers here this year. They beat the Texans in week 12, 32-27 as an 8-point underdog. Will Levis in that game threw for 278 yards, but for this matchup, it'll be Mason Rudolph in there today for the Titans. And see what you guys want to do in this one. With the Texans, they're actually an underdog here to a team that basically cannot cover the spread. So maybe the Titans are going to win this game if you go by the bookies, the sharps here. These are the ones where you're like, well, should have known better. They were favored after all, even though they've never covered the spread all season long. You think they're going to do so today? I don't know. Maybe I'm just a dummy. Let's see what you guys have in the chat. It feels like who would want to take the Titans, even if the Texans are, what can you say? The Texans situation, it feels pretty clear here at this point. They'll play at home next week. They clinched the AFC South. They are the number 4 seed. So still going to be expected here to start Stroud. All right. Let's see what you have in this one. Thomas says, I got to do it. I mean, you got to take them sometime. They're not going to lose every game against the spread here. And Ray says, take the Titans. Oh, was it no penalty kick? Is that what it was? Or was it just a regular goal? Okay, I missed that. I'm trying to do a show here. Keandra, you can argue with me anytime. I don't mind a good sports point spread debate. All right. Houston, no for Keandra there. And let's see here. Johnny says, put Texans in your Wong here today. Robert says, take the under here. Come on, Texans and Titans. This one reeks of a low-scoring game. Robert Franklin says Texas first half. And Keandra says, hey, don't forget, you could have revenge here. Billy says, you know what? I'm an old hog, and I think you can still say it, right? And I guess, if anything, I've said this one, though, before, Bill. I do miss the nickname of the Redskins. And I guess, though, if any name was supposed to be, we probably shouldn't have a name after skin pigmentation. But I do miss the Redskins. All right. Just like I still got to call them the San Diego Chargers. My San Diego Chargers. Paul Bowman. Nice to have you here today. Thank you, Paul. He's got, I'm going to look at his baseball card here because I haven't seen Paul here. Oh, man. Okay. I'm trying to see that baseball card. Thanks, Paul. Is that you? Is that you on there? Okay. Abel says it's 2-1 there. Says it's crazy game. Thank you, Paul. That's really cool. Were you in the Mets organization? All right. I got to make a pick. I got to make a pick here with this one, with the Texans and the Titans. All right, let me get that going here in this one. I saw some definite under support in there today. And, looks like here, look at this total here real quick. I'm pretty sure I'm on the under, but just seeing if there's some action here. 36.5. That's what I still have. Give me the under here in this one. All right. Got another one coming up here. Oh, 93 draft pick of the Mets. Cool, Paul. All right. Giants and the Eagles. So I got the order right here. My sheet, unfortunately, I print out this nice sheet, everything with all my notes on it and everything. But, this one was a little bit quirky because none of the game times were listed when I printed it out. I printed it out before the times were assigned. So half the games are all over the place here. I guess I could have printed it out again, but hey, I like to get started early. So, all right, Giants and Eagles here in this one. You got the Eagles. 2-point favorite, total down here to 35, it looks like right now. I'm going to mark it down here, a 1-point move, it looks like right now in this one. And yeah, the Giants, they really know how to screw up a good thing, right? And, going back and look at that Hard Knocks video, right? They rehashed out a little bit this week on X when the Giants front office was sitting in there and said this is going to be Jones's year, uh, we're going to trade Barkley and he's not going to go rush for 2,000 yards with anybody, is he, or whatever it was. What was it? Just crazy to think that was the Giants were so far out of touch. Look, it's easy to say it now, right? That how could they be so crazy? But the fact is, we can do that. We can sit here and speculate and make fun of them. These guys are the ones getting paid the big money to find these decisions, right? Who really thought that Saquon Barkley was a player who was going to be Dunsky in his career? It was the organization that brought him down, it feels like a little bit, when he was with the Giants, right? Because he certainly had moments of brilliance, even with the Giants here. And well, if you look at Tyrone Tracy, I mean, he could be a mini Barkley to us. He's not Barkley, but Tyrone Tracy's been pretty cool, hasn't he, for the Giants here a little bit. See what you do here in this one, though, with the Eagles in their situation right now. Look, you don't want to screw anything up here if you're the Eagles. You don't want to, necessarily get anybody hurt. Let's get your comments here on this one. So the Giants, with that win last week to snap that 10-game losing streak, whatever, they don't know what they're doing in that. And so you're going to get McKee in here, of course, today at quarterback, and that's kind of the big factor here in this game. We'll see McKee get his first NFL start, and I think that's going to be a fun test here for Philadelphia today. They're still favored in the game here, despite the fact that Tanner McKee making his first start. Hurts maybe has a concussion. Probably resting here, it feels like, for the most part. And Kenny Pickett does have a rib injury, so really, really low pressure situation here today for the Eagles. And you see that totally dropping here, it feels like, for the most part, as we get closer here. I went with a premium pick on the total in this game. Probably not hard to figure out what's going on in this one. So I don't know, could the Eagles really be mailing this one in a little bit? McKee got in the game, remember, last week. He was 3 for 4 with 2 touchdown passes. Remember, they threw the ball into the stands and they had to chase it down. So I'm interested to see what McKee can do here in this one, but all the weapons are resting. That's pretty much what's going to happen here today. It makes it tough. Going to have Gainwell in there. He's still going up against the worst run defense, I think, in the NFL. I think statistically as well. I'm not as great, you guys, on those are things I kind of prefer, the eye test. Sure, I'm interested in the numbers, but I don't think anybody is going to argue with me there that they're probably one of the worst. Now, the Eagles are probably number one run defense, but they also probably going to take a hard look at who plays on defense. You can't rest everybody, so maybe the defense has a few more players in there today. But Drew Lock gets the start here for the Giants, and he's got his work cut out for him, no matter probably who's in there for the Eagles in this one. But you got Malik Neighbors right now. I mean, if they've got anything in this game, they've got Malik Neighbors. I think no one's going to question that this man, no matter how bad this organization is, the Giants have a superstar in Neighbors. It's just a matter of, can they get enough around him here moving forward, because that's kind of the issues surrounding the Giants a little bit. So, and Neighbors was taken off the injury report for this week, coming off the monster game there, 7 catches for 171 yards for him this week, his best performance of his terrific season here. So, We'll see, but he's going to be out there for sure after that big game last week. And I don't know, probably could have another big game here in this one. So see what you guys want to do with the Eagles and the Giants here in this one. The Eagles are at home next week in the playoffs. So Eagles won the, let's see here. They, was it? I might have to look it up. It was 28-3, I think. Yeah, 28-3. Is that right? In the first matchup, the Eagles held the Giants to 119 yards in that game. Eagles have won 13 of the last 16 games, and the Giants haven't won here in Philadelphia in over 10 years. Going 6-5, however, against the spread, still not getting a lot of points. Total's gone under in 8 of the last 11. See what you guys have in this one. A lot of comments here, it feels like. Today, and here we go. Robert Franklin said the Native Americans were going to sue Washington to change the name back to, and here's the thing, right? We don't want to marginalize, and this is, I get off on these tangents. I'm glad you guys put up with me. You got 120 of you in here right now. If I were a member, like, hey, I'm a member of the Fighting Whiteys or whatever you want to call them, right? Oh, you don't want to marginalize anybody, but man, I sure would be proud to have my heritage on a sports nickname. How about the North Dakota Fighting Sioux? I mean, that's a sick name. Why wouldn't you want that, right? If I want my heritage to be remembered, and how else can you do it? It feels like, right? What are you going to do? Have a museum? All right. Let's see here. Hey, there's Doge. How you doing, Doge? Nice to see you. And hey, by the way, thanks for a great week, Doge. Here up. What do we got here? Doge having a great week, up 20% right now. What a week for Doge. Dogecoin. And I got some free Doge this week from the Robinhood app. All right. Paul, it's Paul Bowman showing his baseball card off, and I love that, Paul. But is that a Bowman card or is that a Topps? Because I mean, if I'm going a Paul Bowman baseball card, it better be a Bowman. Robert's on the Giants here. Ray says take the Eagles here in this one. And Philly Eagle Flyers says everybody's on the Eagles here, it looks like, but Robert Franklin's on the Giants. And here's Cash Kane on the Eagles. This one is right down the middle, it feels like, almost so. Thomas says, it feels like once you get one concussion, the next one's easier to recover, or when you get it. Anybody here had a concussion? When it feels like, I don't know if I've had a concussion, but playing some tackle football when you're young, when you ever hit the head hits the ground and you get the lightning, that to me is a concussion, right? You probably get the lightning in your head. You know what I'm talking about. All right. Right. Look, Bill says we can't say Giants. Right. I heard Padre, Hispanic priests are upset. All right, Neighbors anytime touchdown. Barkley needs a lot of yards, right? Well, we've already heard. I mean, it's not going to happen. Barkley, in discussion, and it did seem like maybe Barkley was bummed out a little bit about it because of what we heard with, Barkley's out of this game. He's not going to play unless there's a change, but. The first time, remember when Sirianni went to him on the bench and they had the mic'd up and he's like, hey man, I could send you back in the game if you want. It was Barkley at the time. Let's get the other guys in there. This one, it almost feels like he wanted to play a little bit, but you do want to keep him healthy. And I was discussing it with the guys last night, and, some good points were made by some of the crew about trying to get, record amount of rushing yards for one season. But I would argue that the rushing record is a record that is made to be broken. You look at the top 10 rushers in NFL history, and I believe the top 10 names are separated by, I want to say it's between 200 and 250, 300 yards, something like that. It's kind of a lot, but it's not really. And with a 17-game schedule, this record will be broken, even if we're in the passing era forever moving forward. I believe the rushing record will continue to get beat again and again and again because, like I said, you just look at the names. It's almost all because for so long, when O.J. Simpson had the record for many, many years, and then you had some other, great backs moving up that list. But and it's tough because you got to get, well over 2,000 yards now. But I just think it will be a record that will be broken in the future, probably time and again, and barely. So, all right. A few more here maybe from you guys. Doge loves the name Fighting Sioux, right? And they actually had to change that. And bummer because come on, that's a great name. Textiles likes the under here. And Cash Kane, 120 views. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on an NFL Sunday. Let me add this real quick. Just want to mention today here, I love my appearances here on the Sports Money Network. I am part of the Sports Money Network for sure, but I do want to mention that I will be on today on the Nuke the House channel at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific with Holden Kushner. Our last show of the season over there, I believe, probably with Holden, and had a great season with him. It was almost an accidental podcast. They asked me to come by there in the beginning of the season, said, hey, can you come on and do your little Steam thing with us and make some picks? And I went over there to join them on the channel and had a great season each week with Holden and with Keg a little bit. Spent a couple weeks, I think, there with Keg doing the show. So I'll be over there. It's on the Nuke the House channel, and I'll have a few more plays today over there. I'll rehash my plays for the week with them as well, talking Steam, late moves, and obviously the scenarios with Holden Kushner over on the Nuke the House channel, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. Right before, leads you right up to kickoff. As soon as the show is over, boom, we're in the Octobox. So please join me over there. Support those guys a little bit. That's where I used to run with that. I don't say the channel's name has changed, but the faces and the faces have changed a little bit over there too. But that's the crew that I ran with before make it sound like I'm hanging out in a gang or something, but before the pandemic, when we were just kind of getting in the infancy of the live streams and things like that, we would do some shows on Google Hangouts and stuff before the software got better. And still over there a little bit, hanging out with those guys. So Jermaine says, is this a 10 a.m. game? Yeah, this is the last 10 a.m. game. All right. Paul faced A-Rod in spring training. How about that? Billy, I couldn't agree more. We want to remember the heritage of our, of this North American ancestry, right? And I'm sorry that, that unfortunately, because of the positioning of the earth and the sun and the effect of UV rays, humans have been different colors over, a million or 2 years as they've evolved. And for some reason, we hold grudges against people because of where their ancestry was from a million years ago. I do not get. I'll never get. Maybe I'm the dumb one here. All right. Let's see here. Hello to Wine Time today. Pretty sure it's the Earth's positioning, the axis, the angle of the axis, the position of the sun, and where the UV rays have been directed for millions of years that have affected the pigmentation of skin color. I don't think that's racism. I think I'm not a scientist. I just read Wikipedia a couple times. All right. Maybe that's false. Maybe that's fake. All right. Thanks, everybody, for the early games. Let's move on to the late games now. We're taking our time. We got to get going. Dolphins and Jets here. I guess we're going to see more Aaron Rodgers. Oh, boy, that should be great here in this one. And take a look here what we got with the Huntley in there, just Snoop Huntley going here for the Dolphins today. No Tua in this one. So Dolphins trying their last ditch effort here for the playoffs. They've got that chance. They need big time help for sure. Doesn't look like they'll get there, but I don't know. Has it been a disappointment for the Dolphins? Maybe so. Has it been a disappointment for the Jets? You better believe it. Jets are 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 games. They've lost 10 of their last 12 games overall. They've scored just 23 points over the last 2 weeks. As Aaron Rodgers, look, there's a combination of right. Yes, old. The organization's not great around him. I think it was a big, for everyone to think that they were going to do something. I guess we all kind of thought they might do something, but nonetheless, the Jets here 2-5 against the spread at home this season, 9-15 against the spread as a home underdog, just 3-8 against the spread since they fired Salah. So the Dolphins won 32-26 back in Week 14. In overtime, remember, Miami had a last-second field goal, basically a 52-yarder to force that overtime. The Dolphins are 5-1 against the spread when visiting New York here over the last 6 trips. The unders come in 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams, but the Jets are favored here in this one, and it almost would be like, hey, if Rodgers was probably going to win one, that would be it. Now, it is a bit of a tough matchup here for Rodgers and that running game as well with Hall there. But Garrett Wilson is one guy who has excelled here. He'd probably be the guy that I'd look to have a decent game here for the Jets. Maybe he will be the difference maker today for the Jets. And we'll see if Tyler Conklin is injured here. Let's see. He is questionable, I believe, still as we get rolling here close to game time. Look maybe for Ruckert here to maybe get something done. The Dolphins aren't great really against tight ends. They're mediocre, but I'm just trying to find some answers here for the Jets. I'm going to end up on the under here. That total is wrong, by the way. We've already seen that steam come in, as I mentioned, down to 37 here today. So I'll take the under. In this one, Rodgers is certainly having big-time issues getting anything done here offensively, it feels like. So give me the under here. Like I said, Dolphins pretty much own this series, but I don't know. The Jets, it feels like they're the type of team that to cap off a totally disastrous season, they might find a way to win one and throw it in the face of their fans a little bit. So, all right, see what we got here with you guys. And Nasty yelling in the chat about the history of We Won't Stop. I want to say hello to We Won't Stop there in the chat. I think I saw We Won't Stop last night. And I want to say hello and shout out to We Won't Stop. Hopefully you're part of the team here moving forward. Nice to have you. I think it was last night in the chat there. So cool. A new name there. I really like that. There it is. He's talking about it right now. He's talking about some of that action there. So appreciate that. Yeah, that Dallas-Utah under from Mike there last night. Cool. We won't stop. That's awesome. I was able to get that win with Dallas. I had the under on the show here yesterday as well. Man, we got to get going here. Here's Thomas on the Jets. We want to get to that hockey here. Okay, let's see. Well, did I miss a penalty kick? Wow. Okay. Lay it with the Jets here. You Jets take the money. I'll take him on the money line, though. You got to plug your nose special here. Abel says and he scored on his over in that game. It's 2-2 now. Robert McCormick on the Dolphins here. And what did Ramon take on the Giants game? Well, gun to my head, I went with the gun, but actually I did end up on that one. Oh, did I not make the pick there, or did I not just write it down? Did I really skip that game there? I'm on the Giants, by the way, plus the points. Okay. Nunya here. He said, oh, good luck to Nunya today trying to win the contest across the street. I'm going to say if he does win, I'm rooting for you, Nunya. I got to make a pick here in this one for sure with the Dolphins and the Jets, and I'm gonna take here in this one. I did say it right, the under. Again, I can't even find the games half the time because of the times here. Okay, give me the under as my play. Got to keep rolling here. Chiefs and Broncos, and yeah, the spread's 11. We know that, right? The Chiefs are mailing this one in here. They're ready to. They've even conceded while people said, "Hey, what will the Chiefs do with their offense here?" It's going to be all backups here. It feels like for the most part. Carson Wentz, so he's kind of a guy you want in there. They say anyway when you've got a backup situation, but it feels like he's the kind of guy you want in the game who comes in off the bench after Mahomes gets knocked from the game temporarily or something. Here, you don't want him starting. It feels like, but they've clinched the number 1 seed, so going to see also in the running game today with Carson Wentz. You got Carson Steele, Samaje Perine, probably a lot of DeAndre Hopkins will probably get some run. Worthy, we'll see. He could be rested here, it feels like. I mean, he's been on fire right now. And if anyone here could, if the Chiefs make a run in this postseason, Xavier Worthy is hitting the stride at just the right time here. We know he was going to be good. And if anything, the Chiefs get overlooked, it feels like, don't they? Because of all their success. We almost kind of make fun of them in a way because they can't cover those games in all those weeks. Remember, they're 15-1, but they're not great against the spread. They are 3-3 against the spread on the road. It's usually at home where they have the problems here, but the Broncos are favored by 11 for a reason, as the saying goes here, is they're desperate to win this game and get in the playoffs. This one is basically winning you're in, losing you're not. Today, that'll open the door for the Bengals or the Dolphins here should the Broncos not win, but they should win. They should handle this. They should take care of business, and could be a blowout, it feels like here. I don't know if the Chiefs are that team. Sometimes we see some teams, get dissed by the point spread because they're mailing it in and then they've got good backups and they get it done. But it really does feel like the Chiefs here. I'm not too fond of their prospects maybe in this one. So I'm going to grab the under here in this one, figure the Chiefs, maybe they get 14 points out of this one. Right now the total is 40 pretty much across the board. So I'll try the under instead here. Yeah, don't mind the Broncos here. I might bet them, but I'm not going to recommend doing it. I might do it myself. Hope that's okay sometimes when I say that, where I'm going to bet a game and I'm not. When you make as many picks as I do, I do bet more games than I even give out. How about yesterday in college basketball? I gave out I give out a ton of plays. 138 games yesterday in college basketball. I'm giving out a lot of games yesterday. What did we go? 24 and 15 is what I have from yesterday there. So I think we'll take that. That was documented on my premiums on Winnable. Not to mention the 9-2 record from NBA and NHL combined. I really did crush the card yesterday, you guys. All right, here, let's see. Chiefs over for Thomas as we get going here. Matt D has Cortland Sutton here to have a big game. Look, the Chiefs have a very good run defense, so maybe the Broncos will be more to the air. We'll see what if the defense rests, if you will. But still, that's been a great part of the Chiefs' success is that run defense. So will Williams and McLaughlin be involved as much here? It feels like it might be more to the air with Sutton and Mims Jr. looking pretty good as well. Devon Bailey, the Broncos, could they be that surprise team in the postseason? And thank you, Nunya. Appreciate you. Broncos to score 30. That would cost me here, I would think, the total. But all right. The game is ended here with Fulham, I see. That's Matt D's team. He's ready to go to the postseason. Fernando's on the over here. Elliot says, that maybe the Broncos keep it in here, right? Or the Chiefs keep it in here just because it could be an ugly game. The Broncos know that all they need to do is win, but it does feel like the pressure's on a little bit to try to make sure they get out in front. Broncos money line and under here for Robert. Robert Franklin is on the under. And heavy over, Elliot says in this game. Oh, boy. All right, I'll still take the under here. Robert says, how about D-Hop? Is he playing? Yeah, I've got him in here in this one for sure. But Worthy has, Worthy is WR1 right here for sure. But the contract incentives for him, $500,000 if he can catch a touchdown pass this week against the Giants. The Broncos. Okay, here, let's see. I think we finally have a consensus play. Is that a fact? Here it is. Thomas Lewis says, there it is. Consensus, Broncos game to go over. Oh, no. And I went with the under. Ooh. All right. Well, I'm already committed, Team Steam chat. So good luck to you guys. I think you guys are getting the best of me here of late anyways. So maybe I'll, those lame handicappers, they give out something and bet the other side. Well, I think that's fair, right? I give out something and then I've got 100 people in the chat, 120 people saying, well, I'll say 120 people, 3 or 4, but said you're wrong, Ramon. Bet the other side. All right. And D-Hop for that TD 4-1, says Adicha. Take that. Vegas hates these incentives. But why would they, Nunya? Why can't they just jack up the prices on some of these? There are some handicappers on X, some expert handicappers are saying, fade all the incentive players. My Chargers, we saw Nunya just mention it, the Chargers this week. They're motivated. We know they want to play the Houston Texans here. In fact, I noted it yesterday, and I got a little bit of brushback, a little bit, but it's a fact that yesterday, as soon as the first score came across there for the Bengals, right, that the line on the Chargers went up. As if we know now they need to win this game in order to face the Houston Texans, or they're going to be taking on the Baltimore Ravens. And, hey, Texans, nice club. I'd rather take on the Texans than the Baltimore Ravens. So maybe the Chargers have some motivation here to beat the Raiders, but it's still Chargers and Raiders. And I know I'm a Chargers fan, so it feels like it's still going to be a little bit tough to me. It feels like, but the Chargers do have motivation here to win this game for sure. Now, can they get their offense going in order to, get this win? All they got to do is win. They don't need to cover. And now you see 6.5. There's even 7s out here right now. So it does feel a little bit tricky here. The Chargers, though, did score 34 and 40 points in their last 2 games. And, well, they just went on the road and beat up on the Patriots. Why couldn't they beat up on the Raiders here a little bit? Chargers will be on the road next week. We know that. The Raiders are on a 2-game winning streak after losing 10 in a row. Raiders have done pretty well rushing defense-wise of late. That's where their strong suit kind of has been of late. But you see here the Chargers, to me, if you got Harbaugh, look what Harbaugh number 1 did yesterday in the game against Pittsburgh, and now you got Harbaugh number 2, thing 1 and thing 2. These guys feels like they don't know how to take a week off. Chargers are in, we know that, but again, they can win and play Houston. They can lose and play the Texans pretty much for the most part. Yeah, there's some other moving parts in there, but it does feel pretty cut and dried at this point. So I've got the Raiders as probably a top 10 rushing defense. So we'll see with Dobbins here a little bit. But look, his status is should be a target good to go. I just don't know if, the Chargers running game, I'd rather see him pass, man. McConkey here continuing to be outstanding right now. Even Quentin Johnston, I've been on him a little bit, but he's looked much better. And Will Dissly can have a nice game too here in this one. Now, the Chargers actually do pretty well against tight ends, but Bowers here is certainly a star to keep your eye on in this game. As he also has some not money incentives necessarily, but as he continues to make history here, closing in on Zach Ertz's record. He would need 9 catches to get the all-time tight end record, which would be incredible. He really is, at least for the Raiders, a real big positive here. But look who else the Raiders are going to have with O'Connell on offense today, with a backfield of Madison in the backfield today. Myers is, I'm high on Myers certainly this season. He's done a great job, no doubt about it. But behind that, with Trey Tucker a little bit, we had a prop on Tucker and scored with him last week. But all right, I'm going to take another under here. I've got some unders for sure today. In this one, let's see what the chat has with the Chargers today. And we've got Johnny Walker, Chargers first half. Robert says Chargers and over. And Nunya talking about Freiermuth last night. He kept catching those balls, didn't he? All right. Elliott says the Chargers they'd like to get out to a lead and pull some. I think that's the way they operate here also. I think Harbaugh always talks kind of a big game too, a little bit. Chargers alternate spread for Thomas. Robert says, though, they're still the Raiders. I kind of feel that too. And I just wish that the spread didn't rise there a little bit. I'm not going to use them as a premium, but I don't know if I'll bet the Chargers. I just want them to play Houston, but I'll probably go with the Chargers. But my play here on the show is on the under here. Abel says the Raiders could have some completions today. Hello to Tino. Today, he says the Chargers want to face the Texans, and wouldn't you? After seeing how the Ravens keep going here right now. Man, we got a lot of NFL today here on Sunday with the Seahawks taking on the Rams. In this one, the Seahawks now a touchdown favorite in this one over the Rams. You got Geno. He's got some of the most notable incentives here this season, including for a win, I believe. What are all the Geno incentives here today? That's what everyone has kind of talked about. It's a good matchup for Geno, actually, against the Rams defense, it feels like, especially for him and DK and JSN. Pretty good matchup, it feels like, for Seattle in this one. Yeah, Seattle out of the playoff picture. They're kind of the team that, if anything, they've had a decent season. Sure, expectations were higher there, but Seattle here 9-7, they're out of the playoffs. So, but the Rams are the other team where their situation is set. They're pretty much just going to close it out here with Jimmy G at quarterback. Whether or not Jimmy G's playing for another contract somewhere, I don't know what he can show in one game, and will there be any future really for Jimmy, especially if he does not have a good game here or something? I hate to put it on one game, but Seattle probably plays right into the hands of the quarterback of the Rams here today. I think it's going to be actually kind of tough. I know that Blake Corum getting a lot of attention from handicappers here a little bit today, but I'd say be careful with Blake Corum. I don't know if he can get these numbers. I don't know if anybody on the Rams can get their numbers here today against the Seahawks. I'm going to take the Seahawks and lay the points here in this one. I'd be on Geno. I'd be on DK. I'd be on JSN as my favorite guys today. I don't know if I can get on Tyler Lockett here in this one. JSN has definitely emerged here. It feels like ending the season pretty strong. Last week was a disappointment for JSN, but see what maybe you guys do in this one. We'll roll quickly here through these last few games and we want to get to the big one, of course, here momentarily. But all right, Seahawks and Rams in the chat. Let's do it real quick and see what you like in this one with Jimmy G to go over in his interceptions. Poppy, good morning and hello. Nice to see you, Poppy. He says he needs the Chargers. Close out a parlay. Ravens, Bengals, Chargers. Nice to see you, Poppy. Todd Clinton in the chat today. Thank you. He'll take the Seahawks one last time. Yeah, right, one last time this season for the Seahawks. Look, they could finish 10-7 and be on the outside looking in. It doesn't feel like they might be better than one or two of the playoff teams now, feels like going in, but a few more comments here from you guys. Seahawks and under here for Robert. Man, there's some other steam I've missed here talking all this football. Want to pass along some, but Seahawks losing 2 out of their last 3 games. That was kind of a tough way to end the season, but I'll take them here to blow out the Rams here today. The Seahawks have won 5 straight road games, and they're 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games on the road. So that's where they've really excelled. First game between these two teams was a 26-20 win by the Rams in overtime in Seattle in Week 9. The Rams were favored in that one by 1.5 points. They've won 6 of the last 8 in this series. Seahawks have gone 1-5 here in SoFi. Series has gone under in 8 of their last 9 games, but I don't know if that's going to happen today. All right, here it is. Thomas says the Seahawks, number 2 consensus play here in this one, laying the points on the road against the playoff-bound Rams. Jermaine says the Bucs are going to the Super Bowl from the NFC. Forget all those powerhouses. The Bucs, hey, they're there every year. Now they've got the offense. There's Robert Franklin with JSN on his over yards, and Gino to go over as well. All right, a couple more here real quick, and we'll get to the big one. 49ers and Cardinals. We stay in the NFC West here with the Cardinals, a favorite here in this one against the Niners, who they are the ones, it feels like, if any team is really ending with a thump, cast the really sorry teams aside, it feels like here. But for the 49ers here, you're going, look, the Cardinals, one thing they do, they can bother quarterbacks a little bit. They've got a bit of a tricky defense and can make things very uncomfortable for Josh Dobbs. It feels like today this is going to be tough for 49ers fans. Playing out the string, it feels like today with Dobbs in there at quarterback. Look, Pearsall was awesome in that last game. I hope he goes off here today a little bit, but I do like Jennings' prospects a little bit better. I don't know if I'm basically on Pearsall coming back here necessarily. Now, Kittle, I'd like to be on him a little bit, but he's got injuries here and is questionable for the game. He was a non-participant in practice, but he did have limited participation leading up to the walkthrough. And look, he had his typical workload on Monday. But even though Josh Dobbs is getting the start here, that might hurt the prospects here, it feels like, of Kittle a little bit. Now, Arizona can have a pretty strong game here, it feels like, even with the situation with Connor missing this game. They've got Michael Carter, who's had 2 good games in a row in here. In fact, last game was terrific, right? 13 carries, 70 yards, 2 receptions, 11 yards. That's pretty good for Michael Carter, and that's who we're going to see today. Get used to Michael Carter and maybe a little bit of DJ Dallas in this one, but I think it's still going to be kind of tough for Kyler Murray and the offense here. The one thing the 49ers still do pretty well is pass defense. So still at 4.5, and the Niners having a limited offensive capabilities in this game. I'm going under again here. It might even be lower than 42 at this point. Let's see. Now it's 42. It's even some 43s out there. All right. Anything, this one not very popular, it feels like, with the group here. Robert's on the under, and good morning to Tom Redhard in the chat. All right, go ahead. Line it up. We don't need me to break this one down. We're all ready to go here with the big game of the season. Is it the greatest game in the history of the NFL regular season tonight when the Vikings take on the Lions? No game has ever featured two teams with 14 wins in it. With so much on the line, it takes a lot, right? We have 17 weeks, right, or 18 weeks, but we have 17 games, right? We've got, uh, more games than ever. We've got lopsided standings with crummy teams, but nonetheless, it's still the biggest game here. Feels like in the history of the regular season. So it should be awesome tonight with the Vikings and the Lions. Do you really need me to break this one down? Everyone's got an opinion already in this one. But we could talk a few notes here, I think, a little bit and just see where the teams stand heading into the big game here tonight. And look at the total. We know how huge it is. And look, I think that's one thing handicappers, people have been talking about here, right? That it should be just trading points back and forth. Both teams easily could get 4 touchdowns here in this game. Handicappers are all over the total, but I'm like, isn't this going to be one of don't they want to play hard? Don't defenses show up in a game like this, right? Isn't it? This is the spot here for the defenses to play a little bit. Now, the Vikings are averaging nearly 30 points a game in their last 9 games here on this winning streak. Minnesota 6-1 straight up, 4-3 against the spread on the road so far this season. Minnesota 3-0 as an underdog this season. It seems like Minnesota is the more popular team with bettors and handicappers coming into this game. Detroit's won 13 of their last 14. They've got 10-4 against the spread in those games. The last 4 weeks, they're averaging 37.5 points per game right now. They're just 3-4 as a favorite against the spread this season, which is kind of peculiar given that Campbell is one of the best spread coaches in NFL history right now. Winner gets the number 1 seed. Winner gets the bye. So the loser of the game will play on the road next week. Fix show playoffs, NFL. But I guess that's the nature of it, right? You win the divisions, you get the home game. So that's fine. But Lions have won 4 of the last 5 meetings here. Detroit 0-3, or Detroit 3-0 against the spread. 3-0 straight up at home against the Vikings last 3 meetings. I'm going to be contrarian here and be that guy that takes the Lions here. Maybe I'll just take them on the money line if you'll allow me in this big game. I always try to give out spreads, but I'm going to make sure we get this win tonight. I think most of you, I haven't looked at the chat yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be mostly Vikings action. The over has come in 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Guess they're not going to play any defense, huh? In the biggest game of the season, they're just going to let each other go up and down the field here in this one. I don't know. I'm kind of one of those guys when I see the monster total, I'm immediately like, please, right? This is a game that means so much. That's when you have the defense show up. I'm more interested in a total like this when, we've seen like those regular season Monday night, middle of the season non-conference. Remember the famous game between the Chiefs and the Rams? Remember that had the incredible score. So give it to me, chat. Tell me what is going to happen in this big game tonight. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions here as my pick. I'll just do a money line. I don't think I've done many money lines this year, but if any game deserves it, I'll give the Vikings here the biggest chance, like everyone's gonna, but I'll take the Lions. Let me see what you got. It's gonna be tough, no doubt. I mean, especially to run the ball. Both teams, it's gonna be tough running the ball. Why run the ball against these two defenses when you can pass? Now, I will say this: Darnold probably has a better situation in the matchup than Goff does with Jefferson and Addison here and Hawkinson. But Lions still, that's a pretty strong home field advantage here. And I'll take Dumb Campbell in this one, but watch for Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was pretty terrific last game, no doubt about it. And Gibbs, what can you say what Gibbs is doing right now? He's been absolutely unbelievable. He's just facing with top 3 rushing defense here today. So, all right. Give it to me in the chat. Let me hear what you have. Can anyone talk me off of this situation here? and see you guys talking the Liverpool action. Did we already have a goal or what? Here we go. I want to see the picks in this big game. Robert talking about that. I want to get this one in. He's on that Cardinals game there. Thank you. Thomas is on the Vikings game to go over. Murray's got an ATD here. Fernando Elliott, Lions and over. There is some Lions support in the chat, including Matt D. Robert's on the Vikings here. Abel says, give me Mo Salah to get 2 goals at plus 450 in the Liverpool game. Maybe I could get Liverpool up here real quick because we still got at least a half an hour of show here to go. And should be a great game, no doubt about it. Makes it a tough handicap, but can't be sitting this one out. Robert says he'll take the Vikings on the opposite line here. He'll lay 3 points on the road. And, of course, Dumb Campbell might find a way to blow it here a little bit, right? Go. Let me pull up the Liverpool game here. Oh, we still got a few minutes. Okay. Robert's on the Vikings here. How about Gibbs with an ATD and take his carries over and his rushing receiving over, I think is what he's saying. And you guys liking Gibbs there, it looks like. Goff to go over his past TDs, and Doge says, hey, go over, much like the Doge is going over this week. That was cool to get that free crypto from the Robinhood app. All right. That's it for that game. I think you guys are done, and I'll take the Lions to win the game here, but pick up my picks today over at winnable.com. I got 9 plays in the NFL for $2, so I can do that. I'm not selling them for $45 anymore. I can sell enough volume here. That's been a great part of the transition over here to this channel. I can actually get more plays out there. Let's go to the NBA. We got to roll here through this 7-game card and this 6-game card here today. Oh, let me try some steam here real quick. I'll clean up all that steam that was coming in. I really did you guys a disservice. Illinois and Washington game total moved to the under here. Washington's been kind of an under team in this role at home. Here they're not a dog often, but we're seeing the total here. We saw it move from 154.5 down to 154, 153.5 here. Illinois and Washington. We already said Washington took the steam. The under took the steam just a few minutes ago. Also, more steam came in, Maryland and Oregon. This one went over. It was 149.5. It's up to about 150.5. It looks like now, Maryland and Oregon. Oregon's had some unders here right now in this role as a home favorite, but we'll see tonight. This one ended up going steam to the over. Also, Lightning and Ducks took steam to the over. Wow, the Ducks we know have been going under this season every game, it feels like, but Tampa, they're not so much under, but nonetheless, we're seeing a steam to the over with Tampa and the Lightning. This one is juiced so heavy right now, believe it or not, and that's the part of the thing with the Ducks here. You haven't seen too many of these too often right now, but we're getting some of our first 7s of the season on this game. Amazing to think that's where the Ducks are right now at this point. Most of the books are going 7 under 25, 7 under 30 here for the most part. Man, can you believe it? Big steam move to the over here with the Lightning and the Ducks tonight. We're seeing some 7s. We haven't seen too many of those general 7s so far this season. I think there might have been 1 or 2 more. We're going to run through the picks here pretty quick. Hopefully you like my picks, but I'm ready for yours. Lakers and Rockets steam to the over here. And this one, Lakers been going under in these games, right? When they're road dogs here, I think a little bit, or at least in this role here. So steam to the over here. It was 218. We're up to 220 or something here right now with the Lakers and the Rockets. That might be Long Island took steam against Chicago State. Could you believe Chicago State got a win there? Was it yesterday? Are they playing a back-to-back here? Man, Chicago State coming in, or I guess when was it? Maybe it was on Friday, but Nonetheless, Chicago State had a win here, an upset win last time out. But Long Island taking the steam here right now. It was 5.5. We're up to 6.5 here. It feels like with Long Island over Chicago State. Also, American U took the steam in their game against Holy Cross. It was American U -5. It's probably American U -6 here right now. They took steam against Holy Cross. Wagner, Fairleigh Dickinson and Wagner steam to the under here. This is something I can get behind, actually. It's kind of down here to 133 in this one with Fairleigh Dickinson and Wagner, but I like that one, man. Can I give out a play here real quick? I'm not previewing that game. Give me Fairleigh Dickinson and Wagner go under in this one at make sure I get it right here. 131.5. I said 133, but that's because I wasn't looking at the board here. But 131.5. I'll give it out reluctantly now, but I like that one under here. My number's a little bit under that one still with the move. Wagner, definitely having some unders here right now. So give me the under with FDU and Wagner. Also, Kansas and Central Florida. We saw some steam to the over in that one. 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Central Florida's had some unders for sure this season, but we see steam here to the over with Kansas and Central Florida. It was 148.5. Now up here to 149.5. Call it 150. They're at DraftKings right now. Kansas and Central Florida took some steam here to the over. All right, let's get rolling here with the NBA and get into the action right away. Might be just picks here, gang. Got to go here soon. I got another appearance. Like I said, join me on the Nuke the House channel for the NFL preview with Holden Kushner and I, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. All right, Celtics and Thunder. NBA TV here, 3:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. Oh, the Thunder. Yeah, they've won a few games in a row. How about is it 9 straight wins? Is it 10 right now? I mean, look, I better look it up. Doesn't matter. Thunder looking pretty strong here at this point. Celtics have won 3 in a row. And yes, Nate, I finally got one wrong. The Celtics did not play according to their trend in that game. Great game by the Celtics there in that last victory, no doubt about it, over Houston, 109-86. They did not keep up their trend of not winning in those games, but I'm probably willing to still stick with what I see with the way the Celtics kind of roll a little bit. Thunder here favoring this one by 2, the total to 21.5 here right now. In fact, I'm showing 2.5, a little bit of a move here on the Thunder right now. The screen is lit up red with the move here on the Thunder. We'll see if it goes to 3 right now, but definitely a move here on the Thunder here in this one. Let's see what you guys want to do in this one. Oklahoma City with that long winning streak, but Boston, they have now, I can't say it anymore, but they're now 1 win and 10 losses, win coming off of a win against the spread. Said that wrong, really. 1-10 against the spread when coming off of a win for the Celtics here. Steam came in on the over. These two teams have gone over in 7 straight meetings here, despite the fact they meet just twice a season. We know that this has a big time chance of being a preview of the NBA Finals. So see what you guys want to do here in this one. Yeah, there's no doubt there's 2 teams that are they're kind of going under this season, no doubt about it. The Celtics are 5-11. Yeah, 5-11 to the under on the road this season. The Thunder are 15-19 to the under as a favorite. So let's see what you have here. I still want to take the over, actually. I guess they probably will play good defense, but I kind of want to go with the over here in this one. It's already up to 223.5 at Bovada. Hey, is it a square play? Is that what the squares are doing necessarily? Are the squares already betting this game early here? Or is this a sharp move right now? But I want to take the over in this one between the Celtics and the Thunder. Let's see if you guys are playing basketball today. Here's Boston and under here for Robert. And they got a little SGA action here as well. Sorry, I missed Abel's parlay there. And Sancho, I missed his play of the day there with the Vikings there. Thanks, you guys. Sorry about that. And Jermaine, I think he likes the Celtics here. So I'm going to take the over here in this one. So far, I've seen handicappers definitely on the under here. I'm going to be a little bit contrarian, I think, with this matchup. These two teams have not met yet this season, but the series has gone over in 7 straight meetings. So basically 3 years of overs between these two teams when they've met. And maybe a little bit, Boston here 11-2, last 13 straight up on the road, but OKC with this long winning streak right now. This should be probably one worth keeping on the TV today, even with the NFL. That one's a standalone game. All right, here is Patrick with OKC and the over. Jermaine says take SGA under. So Abel says over. Jermaine says under. Next up, Hornets and Cavs here in this one. The Cavs are only favored by 15.5. After all, they're the best thing going. The total here has risen dramatically to 225 here in this one. And the game, certainly sits here at about 15 still today for the Cavs here in this one. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over in this Eastern Conference matchup here. Pretty interesting because the Hornets have been going under for sure. They've gone under in 5 straight games. Cleveland comes in on another winning streak here, of course. They're 30-4 here at this point, and Hornets are on a losing streak. So you got one team hot, one team not. But we mentioned Cleveland, that game against Dallas, they won and covered by 12 as a 9.5-point favorite. They covered at the Lakers. They covered at the Warriors. They covered at the Nuggets. They're a covering machine here, but can they cover big points here in this one against the Hornets? Charlotte's gone under in 6 straight games overall right now. And let's see what you guys might have in this one. Cleveland 7-1 against the spread in their last 8. And nothing. Nothing from you guys here in this one. Okay, well, I'll just have to make the call then. And let me make sure, as I feel like this one might not make the premium card, so I might just have to send it out. I might have to go with it here right now. I kind of want to take these points. Just want to make sure this total here, what this move is all about, to 225. So I do like that. I do like the over here, I believe, and maybe I'll just have to take that because I don't know. In fact, I might go both here. I'm going to take a double play here in this ugly matchup. I'm going to take the points, and I'm going over, if you'll allow me to do that. Maybe a little parlay, maybe a little teaser. I'm taking the points, plus 15. Give me the over here in this one as well. Nobody's taking anything in the chat, so I'm just going to take both the side and the total and keep it moving here with the Pelicans taking on the Wizards in this one. You got the Pelicans, a road favorite. I messed up on this one the other night saying, hey, how can you – and I think some people were agreeing with me. How can you take the Pelicans or the Wizards here? No, what was it? The crummy matchup, right? We know that. And the other night they played, and the final was 132-120 as Pelicans end up getting the money, right? And we were like, how could you take the Pelicans at all here, laying points to anybody? Well, at least now you get the Wizards at home in this one. So maybe we can go there and it feels like this is a game you'd be almost embarrassed to give out as a premium, but that shouldn't matter. You'd still supposed to take whatever it takes here, right? When you're talking about, picking winners. So give me the Wizards here, though, in this one. I can't go back to the well with them here. I think we went premium in that game where the Wizards got beat. But, hey, coming off a big 5-1 performance in the NBA last night, so maybe we'll keep it rolling. I tell you what, though, the total is making my card, even if it is a crummy matchup. So give me the Wizards plus the points here tonight, but I'm probably going to be going with the total here in this one. A little bit of steam came in just moments ago. Niagara and St. Mary's game total under 130. Wow, this one's really moved here. You're hearing the critical notices. Almost all of the England League games, or many of them, are being canceled due to the weather conditions here on those non-big stadium pitches. They get waterlogged, and I've seen plenty of cancellations here today right now with the weather the way it is. You see the snow there on the sidelines of the Liverpool game there a little bit and then shoveled off. All right, Niagara and St. Mary's. Here's one of the biggest movers of the morning here with the game total. Final. This one was, let's see here. This one was 138 down. I don't think it's that big of a move, actually, down a point here to 137. But steam on the under here with Niagara and St. Mary's. All right. Anything here, you guys, with Pelicans and the Wizards? Let's take a look with Hornets to get buzz. Your Pelicans and under. Here we go. Hello to Damon Waring in the chat. Pelicans and under here for Robert. Irish King likes, he's saying that over is going up in that Celtics game. So good thing I gave it out here as my free pick. Next up is the Jazz and the Magic. Here in this one, you got the Magic favorite by 6.5. But look at the Jazz. We had them yesterday as a premium pick in that game against the Bucks. They won the game against the Bucks. Hey, the Jazz don't look now. They're actually playing pretty well. Yeah, they were on a losing streak, but they actually covered some games in there. And they had that big win last night against the Bucks. The Heat, not the Bucks, the Heat, right? The Heat without Jimmy Butler. You'd think the Heat was going to come back and play their best game of the season now that Jimmy Buckets was out of the lineup. But nonetheless, Utah crushed them 136-100. Now they are on the back-to-back here in this one. So, we got to take note of that here. But we had them. We had the over here on the show yesterday as well. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to give the Magic all they can handle. Look at that spread, man. It's down to 6 here for the most part. That's almost telling here, right? Come on, this is the Magic we're talking about here. One of the best things going as far as money-wise, but, man, hats off right now to the Jazz. And I kind of want to take this as a premium. I'm just not sure maybe about the total right now. Let's see if you guys can help me. Maybe I can find a way here. But here's the one thing to note. Utah has won 28 consecutive home games against sub-500 teams, and that's what we got here for sure. Utah has covered the spread in 6 of their last 7 games when they were an underdog against the Orlando Magic. Utah's gone under in 7 straight games when playing on a back-to-back dating back to last season. The total for Utah has gone over in 10 of their last 12 road games. And Orlando has gone under in 5 of their last 6. So I'm going to take the Jazz here. I wish I could give them out as a premium. I'm not worried about the back-to-back maybe, but I'm just not confident enough in the total, I think. Even though we know that Orlando here, 8-14 to the under as a favorite, but the Jazz have all those over trends. So maybe it's a little bit tough, especially the fact that we haven't seen the two teams face off in their other matchup yet this season. So interesting game, though. I expect the Jazz, to make a little bit of progress here off of that bad start this season. Remember, their best players have kind of been injured here a little bit early on. They're still not great, but all right, here we go. It's going to be Jazz and over here for Robert. And Doge says, take the Jazz. He says under here, under is the way if Orlando has a chance. Magic first quarter, first half here for Irish King. Give me the Jazz here. look, I want to keep my role going in the NBA because, I had a mediocre week, a little 50-50 there it felt like until yesterday where we crushed it. But got to take the Jazz here. I'm not sure about the total. Lakers taking on the Rockets tonight in Houston. The Lakers are 4-1 against the spread on the road overall, covering, and also for the last 5 they've covered, including some home games here of late. Lakers have 1-2 straight coming into this one. Victories over Atlanta and Portland. They cover the spread in both of those. Houston, though, has covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings against the Lakers coming in to this one. The Lakers here have gone under here for sure in some games. We mentioned the widely reported steam did come in on the over. Lakers are 7-10 to the under on the road. The Rockets trend slightly under coming in this season, but they're kind of a 50-50 prospect actually. Let's see what you guys want to do in this one with Houston here hosting the Lakers tonight. In the chat, not much from you guys here, but we do have. This one from Johnny said take the over in the first quarter in that Jazz game. Here's Robert saying take the Lakers tonight in this one. And I am, let me see here. I want to make sure I get this one right. I'm going to be on the over here tonight with the Lakers and the Rockets. We had last, let me see here. Yeah, give me the over here in this one. Lakers and Rockets. These two teams have not met yet this season, but the last meeting here was 135-19 in favor of Houston. Pretty much about 11 months ago.
System playing.
All right. A few more plays here. Abel's on the Lakers, and Jermaine says they like Sundays. And Jermaine on the Lakers. Patrick says Rockets and over here. I'm on the over. I'm going to trail that steam here, chase that steam a little bit. Probably should update it. No, 219. Still pretty much 218.5, 219. All right. One more in the NBA. We got to keep it. We're going to go fast here, get this show over with, and get going with our great Sunday of action here. Kings and Warriors tonight with the Kings on the road as a 3-point dog. Warriors last night looked good in that game against Memphis yesterday. So I didn't have a premium in those late games yesterday, but tell you what, I kind of wish we did have the total under. I know in that game between Memphis last night, 121-113. Warriors got the money, did a nice job against the Grizzlies. Here, the Kings are one of the worst teams against the spread. It feels like right now this season, 21 losses, 12 wins against the number, but they are 6-8 against the spread on the road. So they've had a little bit of modest success despite their poor season so far. But they played a lot better of late. Sacramento, 3 straight wins. They also beat Memphis last time out, 138-133. They also beat the Sixers. And they beat Dallas. All those games were at home. However, these two teams here, I believe, is this their first meeting of the season between the Kings and the Warriors? Let's see what you guys have here. We're going to wrap up the basketball. Golden State's won 9 of the last 11 at home straight up against the Kings. And Sacramento, this is usually not a great position for them. They've failed to cover the spread in 9 of their last 11 games coming off of a win. Golden State's gone under in 7 straight back-to-back games. The steam came in on the under here in this one. Down to 24.5 right now. Pretty significant move here, actually, in this game. There we go. And that's the way I'm going to go in this one. I'm going to go with the under there. You see, you've already lost a couple of points here, maybe on the number here, but Sacramento 3-6-1 to the under in their last 10 games overall. And not to mention 6 of their last 8, and Golden State under in 16 of their last 22 games overall right now. So they've definitely been slowing things down, it feels like, here of late. Give me the under tonight with the Kings and the Warriors. Let's see what you guys have here. Jermaine likes Steph to light it up. Patrick said it was a really good night. Great, Patrick. I'll tell you what, it was a really good night for me as well. And look at the pup with the heart nose there. I like that. Okay, I'm going to keep that up there. Robert here on the Warriors and the under here in this one. That's it for the NBA, you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night of action there. And let's go to the NHL, where we just saw some steam come in right now here. Christian Watkins going to be active in the game tonight against the Bears. The 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific game. Watson will be active. Okay, let's go to the NHL. Coming off a big night in the NHL as well, gang. Last night we had premium pick winners here with Minnesota and Carolina game to go under. We had a lot of winners on the show yesterday in hockey too. Canadians and Avalanche premium pick on the under. Dallas winner here on the show. Lightning and Kings game under, premium pick winner. Also Oilers and Kraken game to go under. But man, how about the show picks too? San Jose. Well, we took 2.5. They covered 1.5, but they got it done. We also had the Maple Leafs over the Bruins. We had the Wild on the puck line over the Hurricanes. They won the game outright. We had the Canadians on the puck line. They hung in there. We had the Blue Jackets over the Blues for a winner here on the show. Utah and Dallas, we all had that one on the under. Where are the losers? We had the Kings last night as well. Okay, we had the Flames. Give me a loss there, but we had the Oilers laying the puck line at the Kraken there, and I think the Golden Knights there as well. They continue to roll there, and they were able to get that puck line over Buffalo. Man, strong day. Let's hope I can do it again. Let's hope you guys can do it again. Let's go to the ice with the Rangers taking on the Blackhawks here, and no doubt the Rangers here, they're not going to be able to use Quick, it feels like, on back-to-backs as often. So Domingue is in here, the veteran in there today for the Rangers. He'll be taking up the slack here at this point, while Shesterkin is on the injured list here. Could be Soderblom. Some have said, but I believe Soderblom ended up getting in the game yesterday, or did he start in that game? Let me see what's going on here with that. No, it wasn't last night, right? It was 2 nights ago, because they didn't play last night. I figured everybody played last night. All right. Both teams have been struggling, though, here of late, no doubt about it. Teams met in December at the Rangers. Blackhawks won 2-1 in that one. For Domingue, though, he will be making his first start of the season here, going up against, I believe it will be Mrazek here. Let me just make sure. Some sites are reporting that maybe it could be Soderblom in this one, but we got $1.35 here for the Rangers. A little bit of a move to the Blackhawks here. And look, the Blackhawks are bad, but well, we know that, but they are coming off of a win last game. Blackhawks beat my Montreal Canadiens 4-2 a couple of nights ago. So let's see what you want to do here in this one. This one's definitely a series that has gone to the over. The steam is in on the over on this game. I mean, it's 6.5 juiced to the over right now at $6.5 over 30 here right now. And let's go to the chat here in this one and see what you guys have with the Rangers and the Blackhawks. Man, long show here. We're almost up against it here with college basketball starting here in just a few minutes. We'll get to that play here in just a moment. But I got to take let's see what you guys want to do here. Man, that total's high. I get it. But I don't know if I want to. Oh, that total on the screen is wrong. It's 6.5 to the over. Here we go. And it's actually juiced to minus 130. Wow, is this game really going to do that today? I'm going to try the under just out of principle here, I think. But I think I'm going to be on a premium here, it feels like, for the most part on the side. So give me the under here in this one. I think it feels too high. I imagine that, with Domingue in there, maybe the Blackhawks can get a few goals here today. We'll see how he does in his debut this season. But all right, Abel says this one is the big nationally televised game here at 3 Eastern and noon Pacific today. And Thomas says, like it and smash it. Philly Eagle Flyer says, first period, both teams to score over 1.5. Separate bet there, but over 5.5. He's got the trifecta, and he likes the Hawks here, but take him plus 2.5 just in case. Juice it up and play it to the over. Robert's on the over here as well. I probably should go over. Everything points to the over, quite frankly. The Steam's on the over. Not everything, though, right? I think the for the most part this season, you look at these two teams, they are under teams, maybe, just barely, but they're combined 32 and 39 to the under. But again, you got this goalie situation for the Rangers. See how it works out. I'll just take the under here as my play. Next up is the Islanders taking on the Bruins here, and I've got Sorokin here going up against Korpisalo in this one. You got the Bruins here favored $1.20 or so. In fact, I'm showing right now the game's kind of a pick 'em at a lot of spots, and maybe the Islanders are actually moving to the slight favorite here in this one right now. This is a series that definitely has been a bit of an over series in the past between these two teams. 7 straight games here at home have gone over in this series between Boston and the Islanders. So Boston definitely been winning their home games, but they've been losing on the road. So they are at home, at least here in this one, but it is a near pick 'em here, no doubt about it. So let's see what you can do. Both teams are on a 3-game losing streak right now. Remember, the Islanders lost back-to-back games to Toronto. Meanwhile, Boston also lost to Toronto last night. And so we'll see what you guys have, if anything, here in this one as we roll with the show. Bruins won the first one 6-3 on the road here at a high-scoring game. Go into the chat, see if there's anything there, but doesn't look like it other than Robert on the Islanders. Philly Eagle Flyer says Islanders money line. Go over for 4.5. First period, full game draws. A regulation draw for Philly Eagle Flyer. All right. In this one, I'm going to have to take this discount, and I'm going to try Boston here to win. They won the first one on the road against them. I'll take them here today against the Isles. Give me Boston. Kiadra is going to take Boston with me today. Next up, Penguins taking on the Canes here with Yari in goal, Tokarski in goal for the Canes. I'm expecting here today for Tokarski here. I don't know if he might have the best situation, it feels like, here, minus 220. He's 2-1 with a 2.33 goals against and a 90.5% save percentage. We'll see how much they're going to need to use him this season in goal when, Chekhov not in there. But Carolina coming in here off of a loss to Minnesota, 4-0 yesterday, as we mentioned. Wild got the win. We had the Wild. Meanwhile, the Penguins come in here with rest, even though they lost 2 straight to Florida and Detroit coming into this one. These two teams have played unders when they have met. 5 straight meetings between the two teams have gone under between these familiar foes, and 5 straight meetings between the two teams in Carolina have gone under. The Hurricanes have defeated the Penguins here at home in 5 straight meetings here right now. Carolina covering puck lines here a little bit of late. Man, you look at them, they are 12-7 against on the puck line at home. And come on, they're often favorites here for sure at home this season. So see what you want to do here with this game against the Pens tonight. See what you got here in this one. If anything, here with Penguins on the puck line. That's what I'll do. Kiadra's here today. We haven't seen Kiadra in a while, so I'll ride with Kiadra. Why not today? Robert says take the Canes, lay a goal. Philly Eagle Flyer likes Canes on the money line and go over in this one. And I think that might be it in this game. Maybe if Philly Eagle Flyers talking about. No, it's not the other one. Okay, that's okay. Give me the puck line here. I'll try the Hurricanes here. You got to lay a little bit of juice, I believe, right now, even with this current spread at $2.10. Maybe it's a little lighter here, $2 or $1.95 even at this point. But the puck line here tonight for the Hurricanes is actually plus money. Wow, okay, plus 120. Sign me up. Give me the Hurricanes on the puck line is my play here on the show for Ramon Scott running so hot for sure yesterday. I'll say it today. All right, here we go. Another one now right now, and I've got to change this one for sure. Oh, wait a minute. One more here. Doge a little behind us there, but he did take the Blackhawks. Okay. Got some change here, though. Let me update this one because I believe I've got to change this one. I think Hildeby is going to get the start in here today for Toronto. So we'll see how that affects them. The line has dropped here about 20 cents with Hildeby, I believe. I'm going to make a change here for myself. All the sites have gone to, confirmed, in fact, tonight. And Fedotov is confirmed in here for the Flyers. Okay, there we go. We've got confirmed goalies for once. And goalies that aren't playing too much here, right, this season so far. You got Hildeby 2-1 with a 3.67 goals against. Fedotov 4-4 with a 3.48 goals against. For some reason, this team came in on the under here. Maybe they will show out tonight, these two goalies. And look, these aren't under teams necessarily, although it does feel like in the role, at least, for the Leafs, they've gone under in 8 straight games off of a home win right now, have the Toronto Maple Leafs. Leafs are on a 3-game winning streak. Flyers have been alternating wins and losses here of late. Toronto 22-18, 13-10 at home. Flyers have dropped 7 of their last 10 games overall. And if you're going to give me a little bit of a discount here on the Maple Leafs, down to $1.50 or so, oh boy, I guess I'm going to be on the Leafs here in this one. Both teams with their backup goaltenders here at this point. And give me the Leafs minus $1.50 here. I'll take a favorite. No wonder I'm winning so many games. Count Chocula here today is me. Toronto, they have covered the puck line in 6 straight games when up against the Flyers when playing on a back-to-back. But Philadelphia, they're not winning as an underdog for sure right now. In fact, 8-18 straight up as an underdog. So give me the Maple Leafs here. I'll take the Leafs here in this one with Dennis Hill to be in goal. And now we know that Ivan Fedotov will be in there. All right, here we go. Philly Eagle Flyer says, give me first period. Both teams score over 1.5. It also goes over 5.5, 6.5. Takes the Leafs team total over 3.5 and full game draw. Robert likes the under. He likes that steam and no doubt getting a nice price here for sure at 6.5. It is juiced currently to the under. maybe even at minus $1.20. Last one on the ice. We got to go, man. We got 5 minutes for the Indiana Penn State game, and I'm going to give you a pick on that in just a second. Lightning and the Ducks with my man Johansson here in goal for the Lightning, going up against Gibby here for the Ducks. The Ducks have won 3 of their last 4, despite losing that last game to Edmonton 3-2. But the Ducks got the money there in that one. And for the Lightning here, look, they're going to be fine. Yeah, it's a 3-game losing streak, but those games were on the road here against LA, against San Jose, the last 2. So they're on this little bit of a Western swing here. So maybe, just maybe, the Ducks can be live here in this one with Gibby in goal, and the price dropping here a little bit right now, showing the Lightning $1.65 for the most part, a little bit of a discount. But I keep going back to the fact that everybody wants to bury these Ducks, even though they're still 16-18 and done a pretty nice job here this season. It doesn't feel like the Ducks of the past, even though I hear a lot of the talking heads here, even on those hockey experts channels, talking bad about the Ducks. Maybe a few of the analysts are waking up to them a little bit. You know, I said at the beginning of the season, I thought the Ducks would be much, much improved. In fact, I think they're a little behind schedule from what I've expected their improvement to be. I was one of the few that were high on the Ducks this year, that maybe they could even make the playoffs. Right now, it's going to be tough, but 24-11 on the puck line as a dog here right now. Yeah, the Ducks are, 14-21 as an underdog, 8-11 at home this season. Tampa Bay 15-8 as a favorite here. So, all right, let's see what you want to do here in this one with the Lightning and the Ducks. I feel like this might be a spot for the Ducks today. 2 teams that definitely go under. As I said, the Ducks 12-24 to the under so far, 6-13 to the under at home right now. But see what you guys have here in this one. Maybe this one will have goals. Let's see what you got.
Final.
In the chat, if anything, we're done with hockey. Pretty much. Here's Johnny Walker, Tampa Bay, first period, puck line, plus the money. Robert's on the Ducks. Robert might be on the under in the Ducks game. Like I said, we're at 7 under here at this point. You're getting one of the highest totals of the season with one of the biggest under teams going right now. Anaheim having gone under at this point in 9 of their last 10 games. This series has gone under in 9 of the last 11 games here in LA. Basically, it's 10 years of unders every time Tampa Bay comes out here right now. So Tampa Bay, though, does own this series. They've won 5 straight against Anaheim, and Tampa Bay's been covering puck lines on the road here a little bit. They are 10-8 on the puck line on the road. And, they were favored in 18 of those 23 games. So, or let's see, is that right? No. Bad math. I guess I'm tired. All right. Go ahead. Give me your play here if you want in this one with Tampa Bay. I guess it's going to go over, and I just don't know any better here at this point. Thank you, Doge, for your plays. Philly Eagle Flyer here as well. And he says take it up to 7.5 here. All right, I got to try the Ducks on the puck line here in this one. Yeah, they're minus $1.60 today, but like I said, I think they hang in. I'll lay it here a little bit. All right, that's it for the hockey. We've got one game coming up right now. It starts in 1 minute. Get ready. Get ready here with Indiana and Penn State in this one. The steam came in on Penn State. I'm going to lay it here. Let me make sure, get this line, because the game's tipping off in 1 minute, but I'll just give out the play. You guys can decide. Maybe you knew what you were already doing, so you could tail or fade here, but I'm going to take Penn State in this one against Indiana here, and I'm also going to take the over here in this one. That's my pick right now. I'm not going to break it down too much. The game's about to tip. So my play going both here, side and total. We did it yesterday, right? We had the side and the total or no, it wasn't both on the show. One was a premium on one of those early, but give me I will say this is a definitely a series that has been Penn State and over. See if I can at least get you that here real quick just to solidify that. I think they're tipping off right now. So hopefully that wasn't too sudden there, but these shows just keep getting longer and longer because I'm having so much fun with you guys. So got 100 of you in here right now. Appreciate everybody watching, and we get ready for the NFL. We'll cover a few more college basketball games here, but tipping off right now. I'm going to put it on here real quick. Indiana and Penn State. Penn State has won 15 of the last 23 meetings between these two teams, and 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone over, and that's kind of where I'm headed today, just kind of going with the series history a little bit. Penn State's covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams, so give me Penn State and the over here. This one is being played at the Palestra, I believe, today, as I see the action here, right? So kind of interesting there. I didn't really know that actually until I just tuned. Not going to affect me any. I'm still going to take Penn State here, but interesting to note. I see them here tipping off, and this one's at the Palestra, I believe, here tonight, right? All right. Is that what it is today? Did they say that? Yep. Okay. Penn State's won 4 in a row. They're tipped off. I'm going to move on to the next one here. And Textiles with a little teaser action there. And, yep, thank you, Philly Eagle Flyer. Go tell those guys that don't bag on the Ducks. Tell them Ramon said give the Ducks some respect over on that show. I think they're maybe Bobano's been talking pretty good about the Ducks, but I don't think his analysts have been too nice to the Ducks. I try to watch every day when I can, so I love those guys. All right, let's continue to move on here in college basketball. Just got a few games to look at today. Next up, Florida Atlantic. This one's at 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific in this one. Florida Atlantic's gone over in 5. Let's see here. Let me get the numbers up here in this one. 2.5 right now, and the total is at 150.5 here in this one. Florida Atlantic has gone over in 4 of their 6 road games so far this season, but they are just 2-4 against the spread on the road so far. East Carolina has gone over in all 3 games as an underdog so far this season. And maybe see what you guys have here. I'm just going to give out the plays. No big deal if you're not too into the college ball today, but I do want to go with the under here in this one. I feel like this probably is a premium. I'm not sure about the side at this point, so let me just give out the under here. I probably would favor East Carolina, actually, but as a home dog. So, but I do like the under much better here. It would be a premium, but I'm just not as confident on the side. Maybe I should have reversed it, but I just want to keep the hot streak going from yesterday. Let me give out a winner here, I think, with the under with Florida Atlantic and East Carolina. Robert likes Florida Atlantic there on the road. I love this Florida Atlantic team, but I also like what I see right now. Even though East Carolina did lose that game last time out, what was it, the USF game, 75-69. They didn't look that great now that I remember it. So, okay, I'll just take the under here as my play. Okay, I'm going to keep it rolling right now with Northwestern at Purdue. The steam came in here on Purdue here. Right now, the line is higher than this, right? It is currently at no, it's down to 6.5 at some spots. Total is up here though to 138.5 in this one with Northwestern coming in here to take on Purdue. Northwestern, you know what? They've always kind of given Purdue a hard time, even when Purdue's still good, but they've definitely had their way a little bit, at least covering spreads. Probably the spread's been too high in the past. Well, in this one, Purdue's covered 5 straight games here at home against Northwestern, but they've won 5 straight games, but Northwestern has covered 5 of the last 7 games between the two teams, and Northwestern has been a pretty terrific cover so far this season on the road, despite just playing. Let's see here, how many total now? I know they have a decent record here on the road. 4-1 against the spread on the road so far for Northwestern. And Purdue, they're not getting it done too well because of their reputation, maybe it feels like here. For Northwestern, they've gone over in 3 of their 4 games as an underdog so far. But I'm going to have to take Northwestern here, plus the points. I think they'll hang in there again. They cover this every time. It just seems like Purdue's favored by too many, and Northwestern is able to get the money. Robert likes the over here in this one, and yeah, I think I do too. There is a case to be made. Let me see if I have this one right. I think there's a big case to be made actually here for the over in this game. Let me see if I have that note here. 12 of Purdue's last 13 Big Ten games have had more than 147 points, and the total in this game is 137. 12 of the last 13 home games for Purdue. Now, granted, some of those go back to last year here, and they're only 3-4-1 to the over this season, but they've had high totals. Now, you're going to get a high total here with Northwestern, kind of, because they're the opponent, but 12 of the last 13 have gone over 147. And this total is 137. So you can probably watch for a premium here, it feels like, in this game on the list. If I can get off the air here and send the premiums out, that's already marked down. So let me just say it right now, a premium on the over, but I'm going to send it out as part of the package. Give me Northwestern as my free pick. Illinois will take on Washington here in this one, with Illinois favored by 7.5. The total 153.5. That deserves an update here right now. We'll update the lines on the screen with Illinois and Washington, and another classic Big 10 matchup. Illinois comes in ranked, of course, but they're on the road. And Washington, hey, they're pretty good, but man, this Illinois team, it's amazing that they have 3 losses this season the way they've been playing. I mean, they look outstanding, especially against Oregon. They've been hanging out here in the Northwest for a couple of days here waiting for this one, but man, they beat the shit out of Did I just say that? They did, man. They beat Oregon so bad. I don't say things like that too often, but that's the first thing that came to mind in that game. So they scored 109 points in that one. So right now, Illinois looking pretty good, but this team came in on Washington. They're not terrible, no doubt. I mean, they come in with a 10-4 record so far, but man, it just seems like this Illinois team is hard to stop. But I don't mind the steam here. The Sharps may be on Washington here, and like I said, there could be something, the fact that Illinois has been sitting around for 2 days. I don't say sitting around, you go through practice and all that, right? But it does feel like maybe there's something to be said for hanging out, waiting for another big game here after you just beat one of the Oregon. Their stock was rising here in that game. I lost that game, and it made me take note here a little bit of Illinois, and I went ahead and placed a futures bet on Illinois to win the national championship after that game. I think there'll be some value possibly to that play of moving ahead, in the future here. It feels like I took Illinois at, let me see, I have it here. Oh, I might not have it here, the right odds. Maybe I'll try to cover that tomorrow and tell you what I did. But nonetheless, here, I think for me, I want to try Washington actually in the game, plus the points. I'm worried about sitting around waiting to play another game after you just look. There's no doubt. I guess if you put these two teams on a neutral in March, I'd probably be on Illinois laying 12. right now. But I'm just concerned about waiting it out here. This might end up being a kind of a clunky game, and this one might end up having a lower score than I think people are anticipating, even after Illinois scored all those points. 109 to 70, whatever it was. But I will say this: 14 of Washington's last 16 games dating back to last season have been under this total. So give me Washington here as my play. We're almost done with the show, gang. We're going to have the drawing here in just a moment, but I got a few more games here to cover here. Robert went under with me. So, all right, here we go with Maryland and Oregon. So here you go. You got Maryland now coming in here to take on the Ducks after the Ducks had that clunker here. No doubt. I'll call it that anyway, but they were overmatched with Illinois' star players here for sure. But they're going to get back at it here today, going up against the Terps. Right now, Oregon is favored in this one by 4.5. The total 150.5 here at this point. Are the Terps better than Oregon here? Maybe I don't know about that, but they could be live. It feels like here for this game, nonetheless. And still feels like a pretty high total. I want to see these games happen first before I get too crazy, it feels like, with the Big Ten, Pac-12 matchup things here a little bit. But I'm going to try the under in this game at 150 here. There's not a lot to be said, I don't think, necessarily for the under in this matchup. Just maybe playing off the what I see and what I saw in that last game. I think if anything, you look at these teams' ranks defensively, nothing really stands out too much here, but maybe Maryland's defense, and they're a top 20 team defensively as far as points allowed, I think, at this point, but I don't know. They definitely have the better defense here, it feels like. So still, I think this is going to be a tough game for Maryland. They've also been kind of hanging out here right now, waiting for this game. They played Washington last time and lost. See how that's working here with matching up against the opposite teams in this one. So we'll see. This probably feels like a spot for Oregon to bounce back to be here, but I'll take the under in this one. I'm not sure I'm sold on Oregon to crush them, but the price and everything, the way my numbers work, it's screaming premium pick over here, and I'm probably going to end up doing it, but I'll take the under for now as my play on the show, but probably try Oregon in a bounce back spot as a premium today. Okay, here we go. And hey, after having a couple of days in there, college basketball, trying to get the winning back together, sticking on Saturday, I'm more sticking to the numbers, right? When you got 130 games to look at, you don't do as much technical handicapping on that. You kind of stick to the grind of the numbers a little bit, and it paid off big time for me yesterday. Like I said, I sent out, let me know, subscribers in the chat. Hope you believe in my philosophy of lower dollar amounts, high volume games. I think it paid off with the 37-19, or no, what did I say? 21-24 in college basketball anyway yesterday. 23-16. Is that right? 23-16. That'll get it done. So, okay. Here, Ready says under. Oregon and under here. Abel says Oregon there on this one. So that's going to do it, I think, for the morning steam, gang. Let me do one more. I'm sorry. Kansas and Central Florida. We saw that steam come in just moments ago there on the over. Get ready for the drawing where the show's over, everybody. Sorry to go so long. Hopefully these picks continue to roll here right now. So steam came in on the over. I don't know why. To me, I don't think this is necessarily a game with Kansas on the road to go over. That doesn't seem quite right now, but Kansas has gone under in 6 of their last 7 road games dating back to last season. This is only their 4th road game of this season. Central Florida definitely goes over here, or no, let me get this straight. 4th road game for Kansas this year. They're 0-3 to the under on the road so far this season. Central Florida, they're an over team for sure, but Kansas is favored after all here. Central Florida has won
Final.
5 straight here right now at home. They're 8-0 at home this season. Kansas is 0-2 on the road so far this season, and they're 1-4. Or let's see, 0-2 straight up. Is that right, or is it 1-2? Oh, I want to end this show, so we got to go. But anyways, in this one, I'm going to take – man, I really want to play this one under as a premium, but give me the under right now as a pick because I'm not sure on the side. Give me the under. Show's over. Check out my plays today. I got a big pack of games over there in the winnable.com. Got my 9 plays in the NFL here. We've got 2 games here for our consensus. It's the Broncos and the Seahawks. I thought we had another one, Thomas. Is that right? Is it just those 2 games? Okay, you're the boss. I think you're right. All right, it's a 2-teamer today. Let's go to the drawing. Go over to winnable.com, get all my plays. Hey, like I said, I'm a high volume, low dollar games. You should be playing with my heavy volume, a quarter unit, half a unit, 3/4 of a unit, or a full unit. You know what I mean. If you're just a regular average guy like me, if the average plays $100 a game for the average bettor that might be playing, I don't know, 2, 3, 5, 7 games. You know me, I'm going to be coming in with many more than that. So you might pare it down. You might be going half of a unit on some of the games or so. Maybe you like the game better. You step it up. Maybe you don't like my pick, but you're concerned about what I have to say. Maybe you step it down. You can adjust the units here. I just send out the plays as releases, right? You can adjust the plays. There have been some requests to start putting a unit size on them. I would say that those unit sizes for me would be 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1.0, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, maybe 2.0, but rarely any higher than that. So we'll see if we get more feedback from the subscribers as I continue to expand my subscriber base. We'll look into that. Let's go to the drawing. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the show today. And we're going to draw for that 2-teamer. So the show's getting more views, so no doubt about it. But this one might end up being just a modest prize here today. Let's hope Joe T doesn't win again. Here we go, gang. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for being here on the show with me today. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific for more morning steam. Here we go with the drawing. Tom, Justin, Wine Time, David, Alvin, Shay, Tom, Curtis, AOD, Todd, D-Money, Matt D is your winner from Denver. Matt, thank you, Matt Denver, as I call him. Good luck today, Matt. You'll win that 2-teamer. Hopefully you saw this. Hopefully get your Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for joining me here on the morning steam. Be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Today, enjoy the NFL last day of the season. We'll see you tomorrow we got the FCS championship tomorrow, and I'll be making a pick in that game between Montana State and North Dakota State. So check me out at that time. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long, everyone. Thank you for staying with me the whole way.
Can't escape from the team, call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.